Okay, good morning. Welcome to the pre-market show. And I'm not seeing sound properly in the chat room. Well, hey, good morning. Hopefully on YouTube, you guys are able to see and hear us. Good morning, Eamon. How are you doing
Good
today?
morning, Peter. I'm doing good. I had amazing sleep. I have my cup of coffee here in front of me, and
Well,
feel excited for today's trading day.
you had like half a day to get over your sleep because it's like mid-afternoon, right, for you?
I took a nap, so it feels good. That's why I feel really good. I literally woke up around an
That's
hour
good.
ago, so luckily it doesn't show up on my face. Hopefully,
Yeah.
who knows? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a long drive yesterday, so lots of driving, and I had to sort of recover, if you will, from that. So, but yeah, I slept like a log last night, so that's a good thing for me. So I was able to enjoy my morning here once I woke up, and I've been playing tennis, and now I'm here trying to take over for Carlos. You may notice that Carlos is not here. He's off today, so we wish him a great day with the family. And I'm just logging back into the chat room here, see if we can't get this audio going here, and connection. All right, let's see if we can get it now. See, it's still not working. All right. Yeah, we I thought I had it fixed. It looks like it is not fixed properly. So, unfortunately, everybody in the chat room is not going to be able to hear us. Um,
Oh, they cannot hear us. It's okay.
no, no,
They can join us in YouTube. Come on, guys.
yeah, we'll have to let them know. We've got some issues out there. Okay, so good morning, anyways, to everybody who's joining us on YouTube. Maybe we can make this a banner YouTube day where we can take a look at the markets. Some good earnings last night. Some stuff that we're gonna have to talk about. Of course, the big two are Meta and Microsoft. Those are the big ones that are hitting the screen, and they're going in opposite directions. And as Eamon knows very well, so you said you were you're in both of them. You're swinging both of them. You said.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I have an average of 560 on Meta and 395 on Microsoft. And one gapped up, the second one gapped down, and they literally evened each other out. But the interesting part, guys, and we'll talk about it in more detail today, is that they both had good earnings and good numbers. But the only difference is that Microsoft kept the expenses on AI low, while Meta still has high expenses and the profits do not catch up with how much they are spending. And this is the exact same theme that we have been seeing for so long right now. A lot of spending, companies they're going down, moderate spending, good profits, company gaps up. And we'll probably be seeing the exact same theme today on Amazon and Apple, right? Today we have Amazon and Apple, Peter?
Yeah, we do have a couple of big earnings that are coming up, like you're pointing out, and actually let's take a look at those because if I go to the earnings here and I'm looking Apple, Amazon, Mastercard. Mastercard's actually this morning, so we'll see those numbers. Should be coming out soon, so we'll take a look at that and see if it hits the gappers. Not usually a good trader there, but yeah, Apple, Amazon are the big two after the close. I sometimes like CVS. We'll take a look at that this morning to see what it looks like. But you're right. The market is so mixed here on the tech stocks, and it's not just like traditional tech stocks. It's anybody that's leveraging AI. And even like you're pointing out, it's amazing how the market is favoring now those that are reducing spend or managing AI spend versus those that are increasing it. Whereas two earnings reports ago or 6 months ago, you were only rewarded if you were rapidly increasing your AI spend. So, how quickly the tide can turn and sentiment can change. So, anyways, we'll see if it affects some other companies because if we look at the gappers list, we can see there's a lot gapping up here, not as much gapping down. This market is so fascinating to me because again, it doesn't seem to matter pre-market if we gap up or down. The market, when it actually opens, will go and do something completely different. So, we'll take a look through some of these, and oh my God, look anyways, we'll get there in a second. Looking at what's at the top of the list here, can you imagine this crazy thing? This DFNS, it's up 80% again today. This is just Absolute insanity. Anyways, let's come back to that. Let's start, as we often do here in the mornings, with oh no, that's the we don't want to go there yet. We want to go to what happened yesterday, because we were just talking about it.
Exactly.
Why don't we take a look at what was going on yesterday? And Eamon, I'll let you take that over.
I guess I'm just looking at these DFNS and I'm literally speechless. It's around $100, but anyway, we'll get to that later. So yesterday was a painful session. The S&P gapped down slightly. At the open, it instantly started selling off. After 12 p.m. Eastern, it managed to fully reverse. Sorry, fully reverse. It even broke the high of the day. There were hopes that it's going to recover and continue going higher, but that was only temporary because somehow it managed to go back all the way to the low of the day and close even lower. And after all, it closed 1.5% down for the day. The Dow had a horrible day, down more than 1,150 points. This is literally the worst day since April 2025. And the Nasdaq lost 1.7%. And by the way, the Nasdaq officially entered the correction territory because it fell more than 10% from its June high. One of the main events yesterday was the Federal Reserve. The Fed held the rates at 3.5 to 3.75. That was obviously expected, but three officials voted for a rate hike. And we talked about that yesterday. Pay attention to those who disagree, because having at least two officials disagreeing tells us that inflation concerns are becoming bigger, and we had three. Warsh said that the economy and labor market is still strong. He repeated that the Fed will not hesitate if inflation stays too high, but he refused to tell investors exactly what comes next, and that's not unexpected. We all knew that he's not going to give us a lot during the report at 2:30. Anyway, the Fed held the rate steady, but we can see that the September hike is becoming more and more possible. The bond market obviously did not like that combination. You could see that the 30-year Treasury yield went above 5.2%. And by the way, that is the highest level since 2007. These longer-term yields, they rose because investors are still worried about inflation. They're worried about government borrowing and the cost of lending money for decades. By the way, stocks also tried to recover during Warsh press conference. You might have seen that we had a small pop-up, but then sold off into the close along with the whole market. We had more pressure coming also from oil. The fighting between the United States and Iran resumed. I mean, that was a short pause, like a really short one, but nothing unexpected. We talked about that on Monday. These kind of things have been happening over and over and over. Sometimes it just feels like flashbacks. So the market faced higher energy prices, higher longer-term borrowing costs, divided Fed, all of that happening in the afternoon, and I think that was more than enough to see why we sold off that much during the afternoon. After the close, we had Meta and Microsoft. Microsoft had a good quarter. The revenue reached $90 billion, which is up 18%. Azure grew 43%, and the expected number was between 39 and 40%. So that was way above the guidance. I mean, I wouldn't say way, but still 3% is too much. It's 10% above the expectations. And the most important part here is capital spending, because capital spending plans, they did not move higher. The market saw strong AI growth without another spending surprise. And this is exactly what traders want to see when something is related to AI. And Peter mentioned it. A few months ago, you see a company spending on AI, they don't care about how much the company puts into it. It just gaps up and it runs higher. Right now, you see a company putting a lot of money into AI, it gets punished and it gaps down. And this is exactly what traders want to see when about something related to AI right now. Meta reported also strong revenue. The sales grew about 28%. That helped by the strength in advertising, and but the costs also grew, and they grew way faster. The profit missed expectations, and the company raised the capital spending forecast. So Microsoft and Meta, they told us the exact same basic story. AI is producing growth, but the market rewarding only the company that gets revenue faster than the bill that it's paying. That's it for yesterday. Let's move on to what we have today, because today is an exciting day as well. Today, we will start with I think one of the heaviest economic data releases of the month. And we'll end the day with Apple and Amazon reporting. At 8 a.m. 30, we will have the second quarter GDP, we'll have the June PCE inflation, we'll have the personal income and spending, and we'll have the weekly jobless claims. A lot of important reports. Normally, these ones move the market a lot, and we'll get the four of them at the same time. So I expect them to move the market, but we'll see because it's been weird lately. Sometimes something crazy happens, and most of the times, market does not react to these reports. But it kind of started feeling like it cares more about these numbers right now when we see that the Fed and Walsh is not giving much guidance because these are the numbers that guide us right now. Anyway, Peter will walk us through these numbers when they're live. Let's start with GDP. The economists expect that economy to have grown somewhere around 2.5% during the second quarter, which is good. The consumer spending and investment in AI supported this growth probably, but the housing is still weak. The savings are falling, and most of the investment strength is concentrated around data centers. And here is the tricky part. The headline number may look great, but the details below could show you divided economy because most of the spendings is happening around these data centers, buildings, and technology. I think the most important number will be PCE inflation. This is the Fed's preferred inflation guide, and it's happening one day after the FOMC report, but it might help guide the numbers that we'll be seeing next month. The headline inflation is expected to drop from 4.1% to 3.7%. The core inflation, which removes food and energy, is expected somewhere around 3.3%. Obviously, a cooler reading would give the Fed some support to hold the rates next time, and a hot reading would strengthen the argument that we've seen yesterday from the dissenters that we might have a hike in September. The jobless claims expected near 200,000. That would still show labor market with few layoffs. And personal spending will tell us whether consumers are still buying and spending a lot of money, even though the gasoline prices are high and even though we have weak confidence. Obviously, the most important event is going to happen after the close. Apple and Amazon will be reporting. For Apple, people will probably watch the iPhone demand, service growth, China product costs. And for Amazon, the biggest number are the AWS cloud growth and the capital spending. One more time, last night, Microsoft was rewarded because the cloud growth accelerated without large spendings. Meta was punished because the costs rose faster than profits. Today, we will find out if Apple and Amazon will look more like Microsoft or more like Meta. Now, Peter, back to you. And I've seen the calendar is really big today, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the. Well, we were talking about earnings a second ago. We go to the economic calendar here on trading terminals. You can see PCE and the jobless claims are really the big numbers here this morning, both coming out at 8:30. Well, actually, all three. We got the PCE spending, we got the initial jobless claims, and then continuing jobless claims. But I consider the initial and continuing jobless claims, they sort of create one picture. They rarely sort of diverge, right? They usually go in the same direction. So we'll see what happens if they meet their targets or if they diverge. There's a whole bunch of other numbers as you can see here. We got GDP numbers coming out. We got personal spending and consumer spending. There's all sorts of stuff, right? But really, the big numbers are 8:30 again with PCE and the jobless claims. So we'll take a look at those as they come out, and then the rest of the day is pretty quiet. I see, the Atlanta Fed GDP. They seem to be producing that a lot more frequently. It used to be every, I don't know, every like 2 months or something. Now it seems like it's every 2 weeks. So almost every week. So they seem to be coming out with a new number, which is interesting, especially being that Warsh, as you point out, Eamon, has said, I am not going to tell you what the future holds, or at least I refuse to provide as much guidance as my predecessor. He felt that Powell was overfeeding the market, and the market was relying on that data more than it should. And he's been true to his word. If you go to the Fed Watch, the expectations are a little less certain. For last night's or yesterday's announcement, it was about 2/3 that thought that he wasn't going to change the rate, and 1/3 thought that the rate was going to change. So obviously the majority, were correct, and therefore the market didn't react as dramatically as you might expect. And then for the next rate announcement, which is happening on the 16th of September, so we have a good 6 weeks between now and the next announcement. It's 2/3 right now that feel that the rates are going to go up by a quarter point, and about a third thinking it's going to be unchanged. So we'll see how that changes over time. What's important is how the market reacts to this. And as Eamon was pointing out yesterday, we saw this market that, the move as expected, right? We were telling you yesterday morning, you can expect sort of slightly lower volume and muted price action. And that's what we saw. You can see how that volume is lower. The volume is lower in here throughout the morning, and then it really started to pick up a little bit more in the afternoon, which is not the usual sort of activity on a regular day. But look how much more movement and momentum we got through the afternoon. And this was, remember, 2 o'clock is when the rate sort of came out automatically, and then the press conference started at 2:30, and we got some immediate reaction to the comments, and then wow, look at that big downturn, right? Biggest move of the day happened in this downturn into the close. So that, only happens when you get the rate announcements or, huge sort of market type news activity, and that's definitely what we saw yesterday. So for today, well, let's see how the markets sort of react on an ongoing basis to it. And we'll take a look through the gappers here and see what the key things are that we've got. And, I don't know whether to be upset or just stunned, or I'd be curious for you guys to tell me how many of you out there are actually have traded this DFNS. Because, I mean, the fact that we're still talking about it is just blowing my mind. And not only that, but it is a 90, it hit $100 earlier this morning. What is happening? What is it? Again, I will continually remind you, this was a 5-cent stock last week, right? They did a 1 for 125 reverse stock split. So the 5-cent stock went to $7 stock, and from $7, it's just taken off. If we just look at the daily chart here, you can see how, it sort of shows it down here as a, $3-4 stock. And then it did the reverse split. It went up to 7, and then it just started going, right? And suddenly it was a $14 stock. Then it was a $20 stock. Then it was a $30-40 stock. And then now this morning, it's $100. Absolutely
it's
ridiculous.
Interesting. No, it is interesting because I know that the company produces things that is so much needed in the modern warfare. They are focused on counter drone and military technologies, but it's a low float company. I mean, there are bigger defense companies that we have out there, and probably they are working on counter drone things, right? But probably this company made the play announcing what they're working, and that sounds fancy. That sounds needed. Remember building a base on the moon? What company was it?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that company, but yeah, they were going to build a chip manufacturing facility on the moon. Anyways, yeah,
Exactly.
whatever that was. So yeah, it's almost like they just had the right combination of they did that reverse split, which got attention. The attention helped people realize what the business they're in, and it's sort of just been memeing ever since. So, I'm not going to tell anybody not to trade it. Trade it if you want to, but understand this is a low float, high risk stock, right? And you got to be careful about your data source, because some of the data sources still show it having an 80 or 90 million share float. That was pre-reverse split, right? You got to divide, if you see a big number, you got to divide it by 125 to get the actual float. So the real float now is under 1 million. I show 700,000 or so, and that helps, right? When you have so much less inventory, that also creates, sort of these runs. So, already this morning, this thing is traded, lower volume than we've seen in the past, only 1.7 million shares. That's still, you got to keep in mind, 2.5 times the actual available float. So this thing is memeing hard. It is hard to borrow, which means, at least for my platform, it is not shortable. So, just be very well aware that this is risky, very risky. Can you make money? Yes. You can also lose money very, very quickly, because it's going to move hard and fast when it does choose to move. So just be very, very careful. All right. So that is the first crazy one on our list. Let's see what else we got. The next one I see here is PN. This does not sound familiar at all. PN is not a stock that I think
it's an energy company. Yeah,
okay.
It's an energy company that develops power infrastructure for AI data centers, and probably it gaps up because it's starting to rebrand itself around AI-powered energy infrastructure.
Mm.
It's a low-float company, and obviously, as traders bet on rising AI electricity, we know that data centers consume a lot of electricity, and rebranding around that name is definitely enough reason for it to gap up.
It's a fascinating time in the market right now, Eamon, isn't it? Where like a company like PN, that, as you say, they're rebranding around their delivery of energy to AI data centers, is caused them to jump up like this. And yet, if you're a major company that's showing investment in AI, you're going to get punished. So there's a real sort of dichotomy, a really mixed picture as to what do we do? We're rewarding companies that can prove that they can make money off of it, but they're also rewarding companies that just have the rumor of getting into this space while punishing those that are buying the end services. And then that leaves all the chips where I feel like the market is not sure what to do with this, right? Because we don't want to reward those that are buying the chips. Do we reward the chip companies? Should they continue to go up? Well, we're not sure, and that's why some days, the chip companies are going up, and some days they're going down. It feels like the market at large is not quite sure how to handle that sector, which has been at the front end of this whole AI boom for the last couple of years. So, anyways, PN is definitely in play. The volume's a little lower. I only see about 400,000 shares traded this morning, but it's moving. It's not. I mean, it's moving fairly nicely. So we'll have to watch this maybe as it gets closer to the open, see if it continues. This is also, I see, hard to borrow, which means you will not be able to short it. It's a long play only, at least on my platform. All right, the next one I see here is PGY. PGY is Pagaya Technologies. I do think we've seen this on the list in the past. I've never traded it. It's a little more, it's a little
Yeah,
calmer
they
here.
had some good earnings. Yeah, they
Okay.
had some good quarterly results. They beat expectations. They raised its full year profit outlook. So the growth is looking good. And it's a company that connects banks and investors, some sort of an AI-powered lending platform that connects banks and investors. But
Okay.
the main reason is the earnings. They had earnings during the pre-market.
Okay. Well, I'm not seeing the volume really be ramping up in this. It looks like they got enough volume to get on our list. They're up 13%, but look, it's not even moving. You can see this price line
Mhm.
not moving at all, right? Unlike PN that we just looked at, or at the very least, I'm seeing volume come through. I'm seeing the price action change here. So, yeah, I think for now, PGY doesn't look like it's an in-play stock. I think I'm going to move past it. All right, one that's moving up and down here is this Baxter International. I gotta imagine that this is earnings because I don't.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had they also beat the second quarter estimates revenue of $3 billion. So pure good earnings move, and it had an initial pop, and after that it's flat. So
right.
don't think it's interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on from it. As you can see, going back to the gappers here, we've got a few familiar faces. So why don't we handle those, and which will end up with us at Microsoft before we jump off. So first, I'm going to start though with NBIS, just because it keeps coming up. This Nebius group, it keeps jumping up onto the list. It's trading with good volume again. 1.6 million shares is up 10% this morning. This just seems to be a regular player. It hangs out. I don't usually trade it though. I don't. Today, maybe are we fond of, companies that are supporting AI data centers? Because, it seems to
It
be
looks like it. I mean, we're done with chips. Now we're going to companies that are building around these AI data centers.
maybe.
Second phase of it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that could be. That's a trickier prospect, though, right? Because they actually have to sell their products into it, and it's a crowded market, right? Everybody wants to supply equipment, energy, and services to the AI data centers, and we know there's a lot of them being built out there. It's just a matter of do we have too much capacity? So there could be a lot of announced contracts that never get fulfilled if these data centers don't find customers. So we'll see. NBIS in that business looks like they are doing well. They are an SSR, which means you can't. They are shortable, but only on an uptick. But they're moving, so a potential. Maybe I'll put it on a secondary list here and we can keep an eye on this NBIS because it seems to be that it's in market favor. Now, the next one is one that we saw yesterday that is back on our list in Bloom Energy, BE. Bloom Energy here is up 9% with 1.1 million shares traded, so it's got some good volume. I can't say, well, I was sort of traveling yesterday, so I wasn't really watching the market. I don't know how well it moved. Eamon, have you ever sort of played around with this one?
I played it a couple times. It's a really tricky company. It's trading similar to Baba, in my
Oh,
opinion. I don't enjoy
oh,
trading
okay.
it. I don't enjoy day trading it, but I know lots of traders are trading it.
Hmm,
But they had earnings as well. This is another earning move.
okay. Okay. Well, I thought weren't their earnings a couple of days ago, or was it just yesterday?
Wait, it feels like it was yesterday, or
Yeah, because I thought
let me
we
double check.
talked about their earnings yesterday.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's 28. Then
Yeah, so
that is
they're
interesting.
still riding that wave, are they, from
Yeah,
yesterday's earnings?
yeah,
So
probably that is.
they had an interesting day yesterday. If I just go back and look at their 5 minute chart, obviously they sort of moved with the market here. You can see they sold off, popped back up through the afternoon, and then sold back off to the low of day again. So this very much looks like sort of the market chart. In fact, if I was to overlay or change it into the market chart, it's going to look very similar, sort of in scope. So Bloom
I
Energy,
actually love the pattern. I actually love how it's been trading the last 3 days. Looking now at the chart, I mean, the
okay.
only downside is that it already ran a lot during the pre-market to the long side. But if it keeps going higher, then we
Hmm.
might have a quick momentum short play on it. I'll be watching it probably at least as secondary stock.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then let's put it on here. If you're going to be watching it as a secondary, we might as well put it onto our secondary list and see what it does. All right. So that's Bloom Energy. Okay, this brings us to one of the two big boys. Now, we've already mentioned it, Microsoft. Microsoft is the one that's gapping up this morning, 9.5%, 2.8 million shares. It's absolutely in play because of last night's earnings, which, Eamon, we already talked about. They got the good side of it, if you will, and Meta got the bad side.
Yeah, that was definitely unfortunately for them because both did really well. Both had good earnings, but market doesn't reward spending on AI anymore. It companies spent a lot now. The market wants to see the revenue. Market wants to see the profits. And if companies spend more than they make, you see what happened to Meta. And if companies spend less and they make a lot, the result is Microsoft.
And we can see here that Microsoft, I'm looking at a 60-minute chart. You can see how far it is above the trading range that it's had over the last couple of weeks. And that is what's causing it to jump higher here this morning. So it's looking good. I actually like it for a potential trade. It's gapping up. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know at this point whether it's going to go higher or lower when the opening bell rings, but I think it's one that's absolutely worth watching. So that's Microsoft. Going back to the gappers, I said I was just going to skip to that, but interestingly, there's a couple of things that are keep like moving up the list. Look at it. We got IREN and ARM that have jumped up above Microsoft on my list. So we do have quite a few things that are moving this morning. They give you potential trade opportunities. IREN is another. I said, we seem to like the data center plays. It's another data center play in IREN. And it's gapping up here about 9% on 2 million shares. I mean, it was down yesterday. Let's see, what did they do? What did they do yesterday? Yeah, Rory again. Generally looks like the market, although they sold off a little bit more than average, moving up here this morning. So, hey, it's a potential play. And then ARM, we haven't talked about in a while. Let me just flip to that one quickly. ARM is gapping higher here, 10% now. So, yeah, it's moving with a little bit of aggression. Lower volume though, only 500,000 shares. So play that one if you want to. It looks like we've got a whole lot of candidates. Eamon, we don't have time to go through
Mhm.
the entire gap up list because there's just so many things happening here, and there's more coming onto the list every single minute here. A lot of semiconductors companies I noticed. A lot of the data center plays are on here, and then miscellaneous other things. Anything that you want to bring our attention to?
Yeah, we've seen a sharp sell-off yesterday and a huge sell-off for the last few days. So companies seem to be bouncing up on either a sympathy play or just a small recovery by the dip. One of the things that I will be watching from the gappers, and it's sitting at the bottom of the gappers list, is Tesla. Tesla has
Ah,
already sold off a lot. It sold off from 380 to 304. And I know that it's red for the last 4 or 5 days, but if we take a look at the daily chart, every single day it makes new lows just by a bit. Like it makes new lows and it slowly bounces back. It makes new lows relatively to the previous candlestick and it holds. And today it's slightly gapped up, which gives me a feel that today might finally be the day where we are going to have small correction or a squeeze to the upside. So
mm,
this is the one that I'll be keeping an eye on.
okay. All right. I like that. You've got an approach. You know what you're looking for. Let's do that. Let's put this one also on. Tesla's just a regular sort of type of play. So we'll put it on the main list for now, and so that we can keep an eye on it. So good. Thanks for that. And well, before we go to the gap down list, Eamon, do you want to cover one of the other featured news stories? Do you want to do the
Oh,
featured
I
story?
think the
Or?
numbers are out. Maybe you want to go through the
Oh yeah,
numbers?
you know what? You're right. Thank you. I forgot about that.
Hmm.
With everything here. So yeah, let's go back to the numbers and take a look and see if I've got the numbers yet. I have a delay. Here we go. All right. So I do not have the numbers here. Hold on. I'm having a trouble with some of my other news feed. Let's see if I can get the economic calendar, get the news. Yeah, see that one of my websites, every time I call it up, I get this virus warning, and it's not me. It's the news website that's having a problem. So I'll go to this one that's got the live news. It looks like the jobless claims came out. Oh, see, this one's also delayed. This is the problem. All my other news sources are delayed. So there we go. There we go. Okay. So weekly jobless claims 197,000 versus 200,000 estimate. The PCE data looks like it came in pretty close to target. 0.2% growth versus an expected 0.3, which would mean it's slightly lower than you'd think. That's on the personal income. Sorry, I said it wrong. That's personal income. PCE came in as expected at a negative 0.1% contraction month over month. And where is the continuing jobless claims? I don't see that here. They don't seem to give that number in this report. So
Hmm.
I don't have the continuous jobless claims numbers, but it looks like that other data. If you guys have that, let me know. There's other news sources that I'm not tracking here. So not really a whole lot to go on. I mean, the market it's not giving it a whole lot to react to. In fact, if I look at the market overall here, let's look at the short term. Yeah, I mean 830. We moved down a little bit on that number, but not by much. Really not much of a reaction here. So
And that is disappointing because there were a lot of data numbers around here, and I expected the market to do something around it, but apparently not.
yeah,
Uh,
we're still in this uncertain time. Like Eamon, we're coming out of a session, for the last 2 years almost, where the market just refused to pay attention to any economic data. It just basically said we don't care. And completely ignored it. Then with Warsh coming in, he sort of gave that indication, right? I'm not going to tell you what to expect. You're going to have to rely on the data. And then the market started to pay attention to the data, but I feel like we're not there yet. Habits, right? It's hard to change those habits, and
True.
looks like it's taking a while for that to have an impact. That being said,
Good.
this data is pretty much right on target. Like there's no big deviance or deviation. Deviance. Oh, that's not the right word. Any big deviation from the expected, and that usually gives license to the market to say we can ignore it, right? The market only typically reacts if there's a big difference between what the expected value is and the actual delivered outcome. So, and in this case, we're not seeing that much of a difference. So all
Yeah.
right, so
Uh, And before we go to the feature story, I see a
yeah,
question that is repeated in the chat. Guys, I
okay,
see that some of you cannot log in into the chat room. Yesterday, the team did a quick meeting, and we decided to ban a few bad boys and girls from the chat room. So if you cannot log into it, then you probably have been banned. I'm kidding. There are small issues in the chat room. The team is working on it. Hopefully, it's going to be restored as soon as possible.
yeah. For anybody that if you have not cleared your cache, let me tell you the secret. If you still have it in your browser, if you type in chat just in your in a new browser window, you should still have the link to the actual chat room login somewhere in there, and then you can click on that and get into the chat room. If you've cleared your cache, then you're not going to have that. But for whatever reason, our website is not feeding you to the chat room. The chat room is actually functioning. And engineering the markets is happening. Jared is doing engineering the markets right now in the chat room. There's just not a lot of people there because if you go in through the website like you normally do, for whatever reason, that link is just getting you to the login. It just keeps cycling through the login page. I was having that same challenge. So there you go. So if you want to get in and you haven't cleared your cache, try that. Try just typing chat and then find the link. Because you're going to have like a personal code in there. So I can't give you the full link. You got to have one that's from your previous day. So, all right. So apologies for that, but you can still stick with us here. We're going to keep going and take a look at things. As I said, we've got the gap up covered, or at least the majority of items covered there. Now let's take a look at featured story, Eamon.
Feature story. Let's
All
go
right,
for it. Yep.
let's go to the featured story.
All right, guys. So the Federal Reserve held rates steady yesterday, and then the long-term borrowing costs jumped to their highest level since 2007. And that may sound contradictory, right? But it tells us exactly what the bond market is worried about. The Fed controls a very short-term interest rate. The 30-year Treasury yield is set by investors lending money to the US government for these decades. Those investors have to think about inflation, government debt, and what their money will be worth many years from now. Yesterday, the short and long ends of the bond market sent two different messages. The 2 years yield moved lower during during the decision that was made. And that suggested that traders did not expect an immediate rate hike. But the 30-year yield went above 5.2%. And that means that investors demanded higher return to lend money for the long term. I mean, in simple words, the market heard the Fed is not raising the rates today and answered that means that inflation is still a problem for a longer term. The three dissenting votes made that concern even bigger. Three Fed officials believe that inflation was a serious problem and it is serious enough to justify a hike, but the majority obviously still chose to wait. And that left investors with an uncomfortable question. If inflation risks are serious, and if you are so divided between each other around there, why is the Fed not acting to that? Why is the Fed not raising the rates? And this is why the stocks fell so hard later during the day. The higher long-term yields make mortgages, business loans, and government borrowings more expensive. They also hurt growth stocks like MU, AMD, NVDA, Tesla, Apple. Remember that large part of technology companies' value comes from profits investors expect many years from into the future. And when long-term interest rates rise, those future profits are worth less in today's money. And the simplest way to explain yesterday is this. The short end said the Fed is not hiking yet. The long end answered, and that may be the problem. So that's it for the featured story. We can move on maybe to the gap down list.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what we got on the gap down list. And we got a couple of new tickers, or at least ones that we haven't seen in a while, and then some familiar faces. So we'll start, with the one right at the top here that seems to be losing the most. Siri, SIRI, which is Sirius XM. I mean, they're not the first. It's not the first time this is on the list, but it's been a very long time since I've seen Sirius XM get enough volume to actually make our gappers list. It's down a little over 10%, with relatively low volume, only 450,000 shares traded. Was this earnings? Why is this here? You know, Eamon?
Yeah, it looks like it was earnings. I mean, they did beat their earnings, but the revenue growth was low, and the market probably investors are seeing limited new growth catalyst beyond the solid quarter that it had.
Yeah. It's got to be hard to run this business now. You know, when it was a good idea for a very limited period of time, and they got themselves installed in all sort of new vehicles. But you know, who pays for a subscription? I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know. Not many people. I mean, I get it. You can listen to a station anywhere, but you know, now with unlimited internet plans, you could also just stream from your phone into your car, and it's harder to justify. in my opinion. But
Well, look, Peter, now in Russia that the internet is blocked in some cities, I mean, at least the LTE for
right.
safety reasons, I'm listening to the radio.
Well, there you go. There's a good use case that yeah, hasn't affected me, but certainly would deeply affect you. So all right, well, that brings us to the one that actually, it's interesting. Look at this. And it just, now the list has changed, and look what's at the top of our list here. Unfortunately, especially for Eamon's trade, Meta gapping down
Uh,
10%. Yeah, and that's a big gap down. 10% move down here, 1.7 million shares. And we've already talked about the reason behind this, right? They announced that they were increasing their spend. Good numbers. Good numbers on the quarter. It's not that they had a bad earnings, but this is based on the concern that the market is expressing over their spend levels. Anything to add to that, Eamon?
well, no, I mean, they have to do something about it because my portfolio is crying.
Well, there you go. Hell, give Eamon a hand, man. Help him out. He had
Guys,
faith in you. And Meta, you're not
it's so disappointing.
yeah, so disappointing. So all right. Well, let's go to another one that's also disappointing. Carvana, which is down 8% here on relatively low 400,000 shares. I've got to I mean, this usually only shows up during earnings. Did it have earnings last night or this morning?
Yeah, it had it after the close. It had
Okay.
earnings after the close. And
Okay.
again, record earnings, amazing revenue, but low expectations.
Hmm. Why do I have no data here? Okay, wow. And look at that drop after the close yesterday. Big, oops, sorry. My chart is like so zoomed out here. You can't see anything, but big candle down here very quickly. It's recovered a little bit from that, but yeah, obviously the disappointment was immediate when earnings were announced, and they actually have done a little bit of recovery. This one's hard to trade. I think on a daily basis, Carvana only gets they get about 9 million shares traded. So today you should expect a little bit more, but I've tried to trade this in the past and haven't enjoyed the experience. So I don't think it's one that I'm going to be spending a lot of time looking at, which is unfortunate because I'd like cars and I'd like to trade Carvana, but it's not. Actually, there's another earnings on cars. If I could digress for a second, that I was looking at this morning in that never trades well, which is Ferrari. Ferrari is let's see how they're doing here this morning. Race. I gotta remember their ticker, right? I love how they just, nothing to do with the company. They just picked the word race to be their ticker symbol. Yeah, see they're up 0.4% on 40,000 shares. They never really move. They had good earnings. Looks like they beat their numbers, delivering 2.2 billion versus 2.1 forecast, and over delivered on earnings per share. So people are still buying Ferrari. Ferrari is such a funny, I'm a Porsche guy, as you guys probably all know by now. But Ferrari's one of those where, like, and Porsche's going the same route that I don't like, where like you have to be a registered buyer and you have to have bought so many previous ones before they put you in line to buy the new ones. And so it's really an ecosystem that, they're obviously targeting very specific, wealthy individuals who they're saying, we're letting you buy multiple vehicles. The more you've bought, the more we're going to let you buy, as opposed to just letting anybody buy them. So anyways, not a fan of that model, but seems to be working for them from a business perspective anyways. All right, going back to the actual gappers list here and stuff we can take a look at. It's interesting to me that we have a cruise line on here. Norwegian Cruise Lines is gapping down about 6% on 600,000 shares. Again, one of those tickers I normally only expect to see for earnings.
Earnings, yeah. They
Yeah.
also had some earnings and they lowered their full year earnings outlook below the Wall Street expectations, which is never so good. And
Mm.
even the report, it was mixed.
Mm.
So that's enough reason for it to gap
Yeah.
down.
Hard to trade. Again, we traded these stocks, this one, Carnival Cruise Lines especially, during the pandemic, and they did well, but that's so far behind us that it's not, it's barely worth mentioning. So I think that from, looking at the 5-minute chart, it came down. This was the biggest movement. and now it's just moving sideways. I don't think that we're going to see a lot of active play on it. The next one on the list here is ServiceNow, NOW, and ServiceNow is gapping down about 4% with but just under 800,000 shares traded. It's a little more active this morning. Now, this is more, I suppose this is an AI services play, and I don't think they had earnings. So what's going on here?
Uh, it feels more like a sector rotation for me, but definitely not earnings because they already had the earnings a few days ago.
Yeah, it was like last week or
Yeah, it's
anyways.
probably after the earnings there is just small rotation out of the software companies
Right.
and
Well,
with
we've
no
seen that.
any.
I mean,
Mhm.
with companies being punished for their AI spend, this would be one of the type of companies you would spend on, right? So, and so AI services then could be, like you said, if it's a sector, then ServiceNow. We might see some others that provide services in this space also gapping down, although it's the only one to make the list at the moment. All right, next one on the list here, and the gap down list is fairly light, so we can pretty much get through them all. Is Qualcomm? It's down 3.6% on 550,000 shares this morning. Um, just looking at the chart here, I'm thinking it's probably, I don't see anything special going on. Any news on it?
I'll double check it right now because I don't see anything, any news specific.
I see.
There are probably some earnings yesterday, if I'm not wrong, because it looks like after the close it had a big drop.
Yeah, they
But
provided
um,
guidance. I don't think they actually provided earnings. I think they just provided some updated guidance. And their
mhm.
guidance is indicating that it looks like their Android phone revenue is going to be down about 20% for the year, and that's got the market a little bit of concern. So I think that's why it's gapping down here. Well, maybe they did have earnings because I see revenue numbers here: 9.9 billion in Q3, earnings per share of $2.21. So why is it not like so? Anyways, whatever the numbers are, Qualcomm's a harder to trade stock. Not one I normally spend a lot of time with. So, and that volume reflects it, right? We see only 500,000 shares. Yeah, there's better things to trade out there. You can go to the other semiconductors or sector companies and get sort of better trading opportunities than you can on Qualcomm. The last one that's on the gappers list that just popped on here, I'll take a look because it's been so beaten up. I feel so bad for Netflix. Well, I don't feel that bad. I've been paying fees to them forever, so. But I feel bad because I know that there's some people in the chat room that took it into their portfolio thinking Netflix was going to see
I
some
have
good.
it.
Oh, do you? Ugh.
I
Have
have
it.
Netflix,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't have that. But if an average, it's around $79.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, that's not
I'll
bad.
survive that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, compared to people that bought it at 100, thinking that it was going to go higher, and yeah, you're not too happy if you did that because this thing has really, really sold off. I mean, look at the number of gaps, right? That it just kept gapping with different news, events that were happening, whether it was earnings or, of course, the failed merger that their acquisition attempt, I guess, in their case. But yeah, Netflix is gapping down again today, 2% on 500,000 shares. It's just the pain continues for Netflix. So nothing special. All right. So really, from the gap list, that covers pretty much everything that was on it. Eamon, anything that's not there that you think we should take a look at?
No, not really. I mean, there is not much interesting for me, and at least for my trading style for today. I probably the one that I'll be focused the most on, like I mentioned earlier, was Tesla.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I don't see anything else so far.
all right. Well, there you go. So, guys, let's go to what you've got. I see a couple of requests for things to look at already. You're asking us to take a look at Micron. Not one of my favorite stocks to trade, but what is Micron doing today? Wow, it's actually not bad. It's up
Look at
six
the
and a
bright
half.
side.
Yeah,
It's not at $1,000 anymore. It's
that's
kind of
that's
tradable.
true. It's only a $780 stock here, gapping up 6%. Yeah, I mean, look, on the daily, there's some hope here in this space. This is likely to be an inside day, would be my thought, meaning it's going to trade within the range that it set yesterday, which would give us a top end here of somewhere around $840. But that's a $60 upside from here, and then it's got another $30 to the downside, or actually almost 50. What is the low of yesterday? Low of yesterday was 737. So that's $50 down from where we're at. I mean, look at this thing. This had $100 range yesterday. So, it can easily trade within that candle and still give you some good trading activity. I don't know that Micron's going to move any better or worse than anything else, but it certainly has been consistently higher here pre-market. Look at that. Look at that just steady move higher. So I see why it's got your attention. Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind it, just know the spread is higher. I find it a little tougher to trade, but yeah, Micron actually looks okay. Might be worthy of putting on the secondary list. The other one that you mentioned is SanDisk. SanDisk is one that that I haven't looked at in a while here. What are we? It's still a 2000. Well, it's $1,100 stock here, well off the highs of the $2,000 stock that it was. Good volume though, 1.2 million shares. It also has a steady increase this morning. I'm assuming that on both of these, there's no particular news. We're just seeing maybe a little bit of I don't know, hope come back, or at least some enthusiasm for these stocks, because they like we said, the sort of the chip companies, I felt like the market hasn't known what to do with it, because they're sort of, do we like them, do we not like them? We don't like people that spend too much in AI, but if they're spending, they're going to be supporting these companies. So anyways, they're moving higher a little bit today. Not bad. Yeah, it's
I'm
actually decent.
Yeah, I mean, if we take a look at it, the market is driving a lot of stocks up, or maybe it's the chip sector is driving the market up.
Right.
The Qs, the SPY, MU, SanDisk, AMD, the NVDA, they have the exact same type of price action during the pre-market.
Mm. Well, and that might be worth taking a look at. The other one that I was trading yesterday quite a bit was SKHY, our relatively newly listed semi and memory chip producer, SK Hynix, which we know is dual traded. And I think that partially hurt the price action yesterday. It was, my God, it was tough to trade. I just got thrown around with it. I think I did end up the day in the red with a loss on it. Not a huge loss, but I think it was a sort of a 2R loss net. But I took, like, I don't know. I got back so late. I just went to sleep. I didn't do journaling, which I should have. So I don't even know how many trades I took, but I've got to have taken at least 8 trades on it. And it just, I could not get it to work very well for me. So there you go. But SKHY also moving nice and steady here this morning. So yeah, a worthy candidate to take a look at. All right, what else? What does dual traded mean? I see you're asking. It trades on multiple exchanges. And the problem with when that happens is, especially if the North American exchange is not its primary exchange, then it has to sort of balance. Like, it can't go super high on one exchange and then drop heavily on another exchange, right? They've got to balance it. So being that it trades on Asian exchanges, they trade ahead of us, right? Their exchanges are closing when the North American one is opening. So you end up with this sort of muted price action, that it doesn't move sort of independently or on its own. I've found that's meaning that I find it more difficult to read the signals. That's part of the reason why the Chinese stocks, in a lot of cases, I find more difficult to trade, because they're, if they're also traded on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, it's more difficult, I find, to just judge the price action independently, and the patterns don't work as well. It's just my opinion, but that's what I've generally found. So, all right. What else have you guys got? Anything else in the chat that in the comments here that you want us to take a look at? Yeah, I'm not seeing any. Did I miss anything? I see, Ben, you're mentioning a few things. ARM, we already looked at. Applied Materials, not one I normally look at. STX, wow, I haven't looked at that in a while. What does STX look like? Yeah, see, low volume here, only 100,000 shares today. What does the daily look like? Yeah, it looks like most of the chips.
It's doing the exact same thing as the whole market right now, just by looking at the pre-market price
Right.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would expect that. I think that, if I'm going to be looking at anything, AMD, NVIDIA, they're probably all going to be doing roughly the same thing. Micron, we've already looked at. So, yeah, pick the one that you like best, and you can go and trade it. Okay, so that's our gap up and gap down list for this morning. Once again, for those that are here from the BBT chat room, Apologies for some of the technical challenges. It's the website. The chat room is actually working perfectly fine. If you have a direct link, you can get in. If you don't, then you're like, well, like I was this morning. I'm like, what is wrong? It just keeps cycling through the entry page, and you're not able to log in. But I said the chat room is open. I see it's functioning. It's just difficult to get to, so you have to have that direct link from a previous day. Don't clear your cache. If you haven't cleared your cache from a previous day, you might still have the link. Just go to a web page and type the word chat. It should bring up your unique link from a previous day, and it should give you the opportunity to log in. So the
Not
team
chat
is
OpenAI, chat Pro Trading Room.
there. You go. Chat per, but you need your well, I guess you if you have your password and stuff, you can get in. Normally, you do that through the Bearable Trading web page, but in any event, Khalid is asking here an interesting question. He said, in your primary and secondary list, is it possible to mention if you were long or short on the listed stock? Let me tell you, definitive. I usually put something on the list because I think it has a good chance of making good movement. I don't know whether it's long or short. I honestly don't have an opinion going in. I'm waiting to see what the open and price action is going to do. If I do have an opinion, then I'm looking for a very specific open trade. And yes, I will mention that. We'll do that when we go through the levels. But generally, I put it on the list because it's moving, right? And I think it's going to move. So, for example, Microsoft this morning is gapping. So if we oops, I got to be able to type properly here. But Microsoft is gapping, and it's gapping up. Now, is it gapped up too much? Is it likely to fall? I don't know. Like, to me, a lot of the pre-market, like the post-market and pre-market action, I always, keep in mind it reflects the lower volume and the smaller capitalized traders. The big capitalized traders or the big dogs haven't spoken yet, right? When the opening bell rings, they're going to express an opinion, and they'll tell us whether they think this has moved too far too fast and they're going to take it down, or they agree with the sentiment and they're going to continue to push it higher. So I don't have opinion myself as to whether Microsoft is a long or short play. I've just put it on the list because it's active.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of a different trading style. For me, for example, Tesla, I'm long biased on it. When I build a trading plan, I need to have an idea or a picture as of where the market is headed, but I also have an idea of a setup that I'll be trading after the market open based on my stock selection. Now, the downside around here is when you have a bias, and it took me a lot to fight with. When you have a bias, sometimes you're getting too biased, and the market is just showing you a clean direction that your idea is horrible and that it's not going to be working, and you keep forcing a trade into the wrong direction. So when you have a bias, you want to make sure that you also have a plan. If I'm to play it to the long side, I want to see it doing 1, 2, 3, 4. And only if that happens, I'll be trading it to the long side. So there is a bit of a tougher system around here. I usually suggest that traders should not have a bias when they trade, and unless you develop a fixed trade book with a full trading plan after the open. At this stage, it's still early for me to tell whether I'm going to be trading Tesla or not. Usually I finalize my trading plan by 9:25 a.m. I need to see more price action data during the pre-market to build the trading plan. Can't build the plan as of how I'll be trading the stock at 9:30 when it's still 9 a.m. A lot could change by then.
There you go. See, and you can see different styles for different people. I see some of the questions. Tripled, you're asking, don't you use the daily chart to develop an idea of which direction? I use the daily chart to find levels, right, that tell me, should it go higher? Here's the levels I could expect it to get resistance at. And should it go down? Here's the levels at which it might find support. But I don't use that to influence me personally as to where I think it's going to go. That's just not how I trade generally. So, as you see, there's no right or wrong answer. It just depends on how you've chosen to build your trade strategy and how you look at the market. So, all right, with that, I'm keeping Eamon a little bit longer. He's agreed to stay with us through to the open, so I appreciate that. Which means normally by this time he would have already done the fun fact of the day. So why don't we give you a chance to tell us about that for today?
Okay, so here is a number that is interesting. 30 million. Microsoft now has more than 30 million paid Microsoft 365 Copilot seats. Earlier this year, the company reported about 15 million. So look at this number. They literally doubled the number in 6 months. That is important because the AI debate has focused mainly on money going out. How much are companies spending on chips? How much are they spending on the data centers? How much electricity will all of this require? And last night gave us a clearer number of the money that is coming in. 30 million people, or to be more accurate, 30 million workplace seats are now attached to a paid Copilot subscription. Obviously, Microsoft still has to prove that those subscriptions generate enough profits to justify the spending. But remember that paying customers are harder to dismiss than just a presentation about future possibilities. And for today's in history lesson, on July 30th, 1965, President Lyndon Johnson signed Medicare into law. He did it at Harry Truman's presidential library because Truman had pushed for a national health insurance 20 years earlier, and he has failed. Johnson then handed Truman the Medicare card number one. And this is an interesting part. A political idea could be losing for decades and then suddenly become permanent. Today, Medicare is one of the largest programs in the federal budget. So when a 30-year Treasury yield rises above 5.2%, investors are not only thinking about the inflation, they are thinking about promises the government made years ago. And these promises, the government is going to continue paying for decades from now. That's short one for today, but the most interesting one that I could find. Now,
The most interesting. Well, that's
mhm.
a good fact. You don't like your
Now
fact?
listen,
I like it.
well, there were a couple good ones, but they weren't related enough.
It's good.
They went so far.
I,
I'll give you some other ones tomorrow, but yeah, some of them are really weird to be honest. You
I,
know, see, the interesting thing is that presenting these facts, it's searching for them. When you search for them, you find all kind of weird stuff. Maybe one day I'll just bring you one of the weird ones that I find, so it'll actually
yeah,
be a fun one.
you sh- you should, because I like your fun facts of the day, because I always learn something. It's always like a little history lesson. We get to learn something that you wouldn't otherwise, pay attention to or know. So, nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Eamon, for that. I appreciate it, and it's like I said, gives us something to think about. Okay, so guys, as we get here past 9 o'clock, we're going to take a look at our stocks a little bit more. I said, unfortunately, at the moment, we are still. I don't think they've managed to get that website thing cleared. The team is still working on that. But if you're joining us here from the chat room, we appreciate it. And if you're here all the time on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and a like. We appreciate that. It helps with the channel. And as you notice, of course, Carlos is not here today. He is going to be back tomorrow. See, we got the blank spot for him, the honorary spot where we can keep him happy. But he'll be back tomorrow. He's just taking a 1 day off. For those that are Bearable Trading members, we always have activities that are happening out there in the chat room. Tonight we're
Yeah.
going to be having, or today, over the course of the day, we're going to have a series of webinars out there, Bearable Traders community. Thursday is always about mentorship activities. Now, our evening mentorship class is not happening because Gary is on vacation, and we made the decision just to cut it rather than to backfill him. We said, you know what, let's give a break, and we won't be doing the evening session. We will still be having the 2 afternoon sessions happening at noon with Jared, who's going to do an options trading mentorship, and then at 1 o'clock with Kyle, who's going to talk about Atlas. So I know we've had a lot of questions about Atlas recently, and a lot of questions about options and then futures. So if you're interested in any of those, then now is a good time to become a Bearable Trading member, and you can join and take advantage of those webinars that are happening at noon, again, for the option trading mentorship, and then at 1 o'clock for Kyle. If you want to join, you just go to bearabletraders.com, and you can find all the information and the different membership options listed right on the website. So there you go. Let's get back to our gappers list. And we'll see, yeah, what else we've got. I mean, I've got an okay list here. We got some stuff that we're going to keep an eye on. And I think there's lots to pick from. Honestly, whether you pick one of the things that are trading on earnings, we haven't really talked about some of the upcoming earnings like we have for tonight, because we mentioned there are a couple of big earnings happening this evening. Remind me again, it's Amazon, and what's the other one that we've got coming up tonight?
Apple.
Eamon? Apple. Right, of course. So
Mhm.
Amazon and Apple. Now, traditionally, I would avoid trading these the day of earnings because they don't move very well. I haven't found that in the last couple of earnings sessions. It seems like they are willing to move a stock the day of earnings. So we may see that, of course, because both Amazon and Apple are deeply embroiled in this whole AI conversation. And with Meta and Microsoft having had earnings the day before, and the movement we're seeing, the resultant movement we're seeing in a lot of the AI related stocks, whether it's data center or the chips side, we could see some good action on Amazon and Apple as people maybe reposition themselves for their expectations for tonight, whatever those may be. So Amazon is not bad this morning, 2.3 million shares traded. It's up almost 4%. And Apple is going the other way. It's down almost 1% or 0.9% right now on just under a million shares, which is probably about average for Apple. So I don't see anything special there. But Amazon is not bad. It's looking a little bit better than usual on the early trade here. So we'll see where it goes, but not enough that I'm going to put extra special attention to it. Okay, so we can. I think we can go with this list. I think we can also put some levels to this. So why don't we get into that right now? Since we were talking about these levels earlier, we might as well start to do that. We'll start with Microsoft, which is here, and we're going to look at the daily for this. I like to take my levels either off the 60-minute chart or the daily chart. Now with this gapping so much, it's out of the range of where we've been in the last several days. So I'm going to go to the daily chart. And for me, if I'm looking here, right at the level it's at right now is actually an area where it might find some resistance. Or you can put right above here at this day that spiked higher. Oh, you know what? I gotta use a different color for that. Let's get rid of some lines here. Here, we'll get rid of them all. We'll start over. I think there's a good level here around 733. Sorry, 433.70. So I want to make sure my level is right there. I'm going to put it at 433. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Got to get there. That's right where I want that level to be. If it goes to the top side, that'd be an area that I definitely look for some resistance on. Well, the downside, well, we don't have to look much further. I usually have the highs and lows of the previous couple of days marked. So those are good areas to look at. Those are all going to be well below the current price action. So we do not have to mark those. I think to the downside, it might actually get some support still above where it had previously traded, like where it was trading yesterday, but below the current price around, I think $410, the whole number is probably a good area to keep an eye on. So I'm just going to put a level here at 410. Which is below the price action. It'll give me advance notice because I do think you notice I was looking here, 408.70 is an area we might get support, but I'm going to get my notice using this level at 410, and if we start to move lower, then I'm going to zoom in closer on Microsoft. And that brings us to the other big gapper for the day, but going in the opposite direction in Meta, and Meta is gapping down, and it's interesting that it's gapped down on the daily. You can see even below this area before where it had bounced, and the lows here were around 540, $540. So I definitely want to watch the $540 level. If it goes back up to that, we might see resistance, because look at this is actually a pretty significant drop. Sorry, Eamon. That's not good for your trade, but it means it's going to have trouble. It's going to have trouble getting back to the anywhere near the range it had yesterday, because I do think it's going to see topside resistance only about $8 up, and it's gapping down a good $52 this morning. Yikes, that's a big margin. Now on the downside, I do think this day back here in March is a good one to look at, where it had a low of 520.26. So I think we need to be aware of that. I'm going to put this level just a little bit in advance of that at 521, because I want to see if it goes down below 521. We're going to sort of use that as a notification area, and we'll see what happens. You notice that the pre-market action is largely between these two levels that I just put, right, which tells me I'm probably on the right track, that these levels might have some significance. We'll see what happens with Meta and how it chooses to move today. If we zoom in on Meta,
Mhm.
you can see how it's had this price action that is, sort of balancing between these levels, and it did hit this 521 late last night and came off of it. So again, that gives me an idea that, yeah, that level I set off the daily, it has relevance because it hit it pre-market. So that's good. So that means that I've probably bracketed the price, and then we can just see what happens as the trade goes towards the open. The other one that Eamon put onto our list and said that we should take a look at is Tesla. Tesla's probably a good one to look at. He was thinking that there's a potential long in it. I understand why. Look at how we've gapped down, right? We had this gap back about a week ago, and then we've been moving down, and just more down. The fact that we are, moving higher a little bit, up only 2%, but it's enough to give maybe a little bit of hope. I mean, frankly, if I want to set levels on this, I mean, my daily levels here, the low of yesterday, I don't know that I want to go back any farther than that. Oh my goodness, look at how far you got to go back. The last time we were at this low, we're back, a little over, well, about a year ago was the last time we were down at this level. And yeah, there's a lot of support here. In fact, we moved off of that and haven't been back in a year. So that would give me an idea that maybe we have some good support at this area. If we're going to go any lower, I'm going to put a level down here at 285 just so I can, get an idea. But that's a good $20 below the price. Hopefully we're not going to see that at all today, but I'm ready if we are. And then the highs and lows. And why isn't this on my chart? In fact, I'm noticing now that my chart does not have the highs and lows of the previous days. I'm going to have to add that in. We're gonna do that so that we can get those levels in there. I'll do that. I'll have to do that a little bit later. But I use the highs and lows of the previous day. I automatically mark them on the chart, and that way I don't have to go and manually put them in. So we'll get those in a little bit later. But if you're watching it, you want to pay attention. So for instance, yesterday, right, we got a high of 309 and a low of 297, and 2 days ago a high of 311 and a low of $300.69. So I'd like to mark those levels just because to see if the stock plays or pays attention to those levels during its trading activity. Those are the three from the primary list. On the secondary list, we threw NBIS on here. NBIS on the daily, well, again, we're inside the bar of yesterday, so we use yesterday's high and low, right, which is going to give us an indication. High of 172 exactly, a low of 170.45. So you can see that no, that is incorrect. I'm sorry, I was looking at the open price because I was thinking we're at 166. How are we within that? That is incorrect. A high of 172 and a low of 145.80. That definitely gives us the big bracket. That makes a lot more sense. And look at the previous day close. Yesterday, NBS pretty much closed at its low. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. Jared likes to call that the king of all levels, which is the previous day close. So you want to be aware of that on NBS. I think that's probably a good area. And look where the price sits right now, right? This low that it had bounced off of back on the 17th of July. What is that low? It's at 164.30. I'm gonna drop a level right there so I know it in case I'm not looking at it directly, but I want to be aware. 164.31 is that low. I'm going to make sure that my chart reflects that. I'm going to use that as a level of potential support for NBIS. BE, Bloom Energy, is the other one that we're looking at. Also gapping up here a good amount, about 9.6% here this morning. Still playing within yesterday's candle. So once again, you can use the high and low of the previous 2 days. You can see they're going to be relevant, right? High 185.66 yesterday, low of 157.30, and the previous day is 176.80 and one low of 157.65. So yesterday's high and low are probably going to be more relevant than the 2 day ago. So use that for awareness, and then we might get some resistance here at, and I used the wrong button again. Let's get rid of this level.
Yeah, I like the 186 on this one, especially on the 60-minute chart. I mean, it has clean and beautiful range, and it seems like we're about to hit the wall on this one.
Yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, again, that being a high, the 185.66 yesterday, I'm going to get that marked here automatically when I add those levels in. By the way, if you're using the same platform I am on the DOS Trader Pro, you can have it just mark those for you, so you don't have to manually go and do that. And I'm just trying to find. It's funny. I've got to remember. I've got to remember how to do it because I haven't done it in a while. But there is sort of a trade setting here where you can add it in and pick from the list, and I just have to go find it. So in any event, I will do that at another point. So anyways, that's Bloom Energy, and I think that brings us to last but not least Micron, which looked better than I expected, frankly, when it was pointed out by one of you. And again, Micron is trading happily within the range that it set yesterday, although pre-market, it definitely dipped lower, didn't it? So yesterday's range is a low of, let's call it 738 to a high of 841.80. So again, that's over $100 range yesterday, and definitely, it has every opportunity to trade within that. But it could go higher and it could go lower. I said it was lower earlier. The closed at the low yesterday, so pretty much that tells us that this thing was very weak going into the close and has made a recovery overnight. So Micron might be again. I honestly think this could go either way. If I look at the 5-minute chart. Obviously, we've been on the incline so far this morning. Interesting how we sort of went down all last night until the trade opened again very early this morning when we're going up. So that tells me this whole range, I think, is in play. And you sort of need to pay attention to that. I have no idea whether Micron's going up or down, but it's might be interesting to keep an eye on. So those are the 6 stocks that we had on the watch list that we're going to take a look at. Let me tell you, we do have our moderators who are in the chat room, and let's see if they've managed to post their lists yet and see what they're trading. I know Jared said that he was going to be looking at some of the earnings plays, which means that he's going to be watching Amazon and Apple. He's going to be watching Meta and Microsoft for moves. Brian is also live in the chat room. He's going to be trading his usual stuff. He hasn't posted his list yet, but I know so far this morning he's been looking at things like Tesla. He's been looking at AMD and Meta. He's been looking at Apple, which of course we've talked about. He has also Intel on his list, which is not one that I've looked at yet this morning. Let's see, what is Intel doing? Yeah, it's up about 4.8%. Good volume though this morning, 6.5 million shares. So yeah, it's pretty active. Not my favorite stock to trade, but it's definitely looking like it's in play. So we'll see where we go with just under 11 minutes here until the market open. Okay. So
I think Apple is worth keeping an eye on today, especially with the earnings coming in.
yeah,
The only thing is just the pattern on the daily chart and on the 60 doesn't look good, but it is sold off during the pre-market. And if it doesn't pull back during the pre-market, we might get a good long momentum play on it.
I find Apple tough because it's been at the all-time highs, and it's been doing this, do the opposite of whatever the market does. Right? So the market goes down, Apple goes up, and vice versa. So today, with this market going up marginally, but within this, big downturn that we had yesterday, where does that leave Apple? So I'm not sure, but yeah, as you said, the daily is problematic because it's had these very, very small candle days. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what levels to set on it because I don't know what it's going to pay attention to. I definitely would put one down here at 320 if we're going to keep an eye on Apple. Probably I'd look at the high of yesterday, which was 344.57, which we definitely need to pay attention to because that would also be the intraday all-time high. Because it was at, well, I'm pretty sure yesterday, yeah, it was at all-time highs once again yesterday. So it's crazy to me. Apple's at all-time. Anyways, Apple's at all-time highs. What are you gonna do? Where it is. All right. The big question on my mind, frankly, is am I going to trade as crazy as I did yesterday? I was on the road yesterday, and I said I traded so many times. It's unlike me. Normally, I'm trying to convince myself, take the damn trade. Yesterday, I was taking too many trades. So, which was sort of interesting. But we'll see. Maybe I can find the balance here today.
How is your journey, by the way, trading the open?
I was
Are you enjoying it? Trading
uh
aggressively?
it's tough. Eamon, I'm finding it very, very challenging, and much more than I thought. I thought, I've been trading for a long time. I've got this figured out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be easy to transition to be an open trader because I sit here and I watch the market all the time. But I'm finding it very difficult because you have to make faster decisions with less data. And because I'm used to bigger setups that give you more time to assess
Mm-hmm.
multiple data elements, and they're very comfortable trades. You enter the trade, you wait, it's either going to work or not work. The open, you're making much faster and quicker reaction type trades, which a lot of people like. And yes, you can get some decent moves, but it's not. I haven't trained myself to trade this way, and I'm having to untrain myself or maybe retrain so that I can do both at the same time, right? So I can trade faster at the open and then sort of switch my mind back into my normal trading mode when we get into the longer play trades that start around 10:15. So yeah, it's been a lot harder than I thought and very humbling. Very humbling. Because
No,
I
I get
don't
it.
think yeah.
Yeah, I love trading the open for one single reason. You get quick in 5, 10 minutes, maybe even 2 or 3 minutes, and you're already sitting at your goal. But the worst thing is you could hit your max loss within the same 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Later during the day setups, they take longer to form. You have enough time to decide what you want to do.
Yep.
You hold on to the trade longer, and even if it fails, it wasn't like a 1 minute trade where you hit your max loss. It was a 30-minute trade that did not play out, and you're already over it, looking for
Right.
the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, right? You get more time to sort of get over it because you could see it slowly not working and you're like, well, maybe it'll reverse or, maybe it hasn't done anything wrong yet. It's just moving in a range and then it stops you out and you're like, all right, I guess that didn't work. But yeah, it's less, there's less, the emotional spike, both positive and negative is, the up and down is much less, I find, just trading a little bit later in the day. So, but yeah, it's a good question, and it's I said I'm finding it a lot tougher than I expected. So humbling, but hey, that's trading, right?
That's it.
Okay. AMD, we didn't, Celine, we didn't really look at AMD here this morning. Let's see, what is AMD doing? It is gapping up here about 6%. Yeah, I mean, it looks a lot like the rest of the sector, right? All these charts look very similar. They've just been moving up all morning after sort of being pushed down yesterday afternoon with the entire market. AMD's chart from yesterday looks very much like the market overall. So, again, we were looking at Micron, and Micron looked attractive because it was doing that same thing with the market. So I think pick whichever one you like. It doesn't matter if it's an AMD, if it's a Micron, if it's Intel, which is another one that again was being mentioned that Brian is watching. For the moment, anyways, they're all moving in a pretty similar fashion. Okay, what am I going to do at the open? All right, now I've got to make some decisions here. Because I always find it tough. It's extra challenging now that I'm trading the open and I have to manage the show at the same time. So that gives me just another layer of complexity. And I really, because I want to show you guys trades, right? Like there's nothing worse than running the show and you're like, and I don't have any trades. That just feels like I am not leveraging. I'm wasting your time. I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Well, I like Apple for now more than I actually like Tesla. We had a beautiful consolidation area on the 5-minute chart around 335.80-ish. We did break below that area between 8:30 and 9:10. We recovered above it. It seems to be retesting the 335.80-ish. So if it keeps holding between 335.80-ish and 336.50-ish, we could have a good open range breakout play on it. Tesla, even though it is interesting, it just ran too much during the pre-market. It needs to pull back, and I don't think it's going to be an opening market play. It's overextended, especially on the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, Tesla feels like it started the move at 5 p.m. yesterday. and it
Yeah.
just keeps going higher until now without any single pullback. And even though I'm long bias on it, it feels like the hourly chart needs some rest. It needs to pull back before the second leg to the upside, ideally into the $300 area or $301 area. But I doubt that's going to happen within the first couple of minutes after the market open.
All right. We'll see. We'll see if and how that plays out. So.
Mhm.
All right. Well, so you're thinking Apple is the better play right now.
For
Hmm.
now, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
I you know can't
We
say
have a
that.
secret tool, by the way, guys,
Hmm.
Atlas. And sometimes when you have a bias and Atlas
Hmm.
confirms that bias, it gives you a few points in your favor. The tough part is when you have a bias and Atlas shows you the total opposite. But in that case, it helps you survive a loss. You could just avoid the trade.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Market Atlas is a great tool here. Let's see if I can get this onto here. I'll do it on this screen just because it's easier to show you guys.
Mhm.
The Market Atlas is it's in Trading Terminal. TradingTerminal.com is where we go for that. This is a great tool that helps you visualize market volume. So it tells you technically the same information that you've got on the level 2. It just puts it in a graphical format. I find that it actually aggregates a little bit more data, and you can look farther out. So I get a deeper range. And you can scroll in and out here to see more or less data, but it gives you an idea of what's happening. So, for example, I'm looking at Tesla right now. You can see lots of orders that are sitting above and below the price action. It helps, especially when you get an imbalance. That's what you want to look for. Meaning, if I see a lot of orders on the red side, which would be above the price, right? Because those are people saying I'm willing to sell at this price, as opposed to buy orders, which are the green ones at the bottom, say I'm willing to, I would like to buy at a lower price. That helps you, gives you an idea of where the stock might go, right? Obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but the greater the imbalance and the closer to the price, the more likely it is to move towards that area. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's
We're
a great
having a
tool.
really sharp drop right now on Apple and a good squeeze on Microsoft.
Hmm.
Two opposite things happening at the same time.
Oh wow, yeah. There's Apple and Microsoft.
And
Wow.
Microsoft is being punished for, sorry, Apple is getting punished for something. Microsoft is still getting rewarded.
Getting punished for something.
Getting punished for something. We don't know
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Probably there are some numbers that are not doing well.
Hmm. Let's see
Remember,
here.
guys, Amazon and Apple, they have the earnings today, so that definitely puts them in the in-play list. But don't
Yeah,
force anything because sometimes pre-earnings moves are tricky.
it could be just a bunch of reactive stuff. I'm looking at some of the commentary. I don't see anything new on Apple. Uh, yeah, yeah. Wow, what an interesting move. Okay, guys, that was my 1 minute bell. So we got 1 minute to the market open. I'm gonna try and keep an eye on as much of these stocks as possible. Let's go over here. I'm gonna move my Atlas to a place where I can see it and yeah, see what we can let's see what we can get. All right. I gotta put some of the Apple, put Microsoft here, SpaceX, Tesla, Micron. Uh, no, I already got AMD. Let's put Intel. All this stuff. All right, here we
All
go.
right.
Market open.
The
Let's see what we get. As the volume comes in, are we going to get some good trading opportunities?
Tesla made a new hourly low. That's definitely something positive for the long, but now we need a setup for a long play. It might not even give it, it might sell off. And this is the thing about bias, guys. Have the bias, but you don't want to force the bias.
Mm, that's a
But
very
this
good
looks
point.
promising right now.
Tesla, yeah, the Atlas data looks pretty balanced, so I don't see any particular directional indication. It's bouncing around here. My goodness.
It'll probably squeeze around here.
Yeah, I'm seeing more. More orders to the downside now. I was gonna jump on Tesla for the squeeze higher, but the Atlas convinced me that maybe that wasn't a good move. Oh, look at that! And Atlas was right.
Atlas never lies.
Atlas never lies. SpaceX is moving higher in the early trade. What are you seeing on Apple for you so far? Yeah, it's not doing much, is it?
It's right below the retest area of 334.75. I think Apple would be interesting if it goes past 335.50ish at least.
Hmm.
Well, the
All right,
open is a bit choppy. There is almost nothing for now at least.
I'm gonna see if we can get a drop on Tesla. Uh, the problem is it's a little bouncy here, so I may get stopped out quickly on this. Oh yeah, look at that. That didn't go the way I was hoping.
Yeah, this could finally be the
All right,
squeeze.
I'm getting out of it. I don't want to get squeezed. Yeah, the market overall doing. Market overall still looks weak to me. Hmm.
Oh, Andrew is trading live.
Andrew is.
He
He's in the
made
chat
it
room.
into the chat room. Yes,
You
he
did?
made it into the chat room.
Yep.
Microsoft is a beast,
Hmm.
but there was literally no way to jump into this thing, especially after
Yeah.
the breakout during the pre-market. So hopeful on Tesla, just struggling.
Yeah. Tesla looks like it might want to go higher now. The Atlas still shows a bunch of downside orders, but it's not very clear, so I'm gonna give up on that trade. Let's see what else we got out there. Uh, you're still watching Apple?
No, I'm not watching Apple. I mean, I'm still watching Tesla because this thing is giving me a lot of hard time.
Look at Tesla. So there's the pop on Tesla.
Yeah, finally it's doing it. Took a bit long for it to do it.
Look at Intel. Hmm.
Okay, I'm taking more here.
What are you on? Tesla, you're long?
Yeah, yeah. My screen is shared if you wanna.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's take a look at that.
Oh, oh, I thought you knew it because I tried it the first time at the open, but like we said, Atlas never lies, so that was a bit painful,
Right.
but it's okay. Then we
Yeah.
re-entered into it, and it was so jumpy, but finally it's doing it. So, and that's what we were talking about, the bias. I mean, you bias helps, but you do not wanna force it. So I played it long, had my ad, and I saw it dropping. It doesn't give me the momentum that I expected, so I had to cut it out. This is my final target at 308, 25 if it makes it, but you do not want to just blindly hold to the final target. The hourly chart is resistance area is at 309 approximately.
Mm.
I usually do not target straight the levels to the penny because the price could get closer to the level and bounce. But as it goes into my level, I need to lock in some profits. We have a big order at 310, by the way, 11,000 shares, but it looks too big here. If we zoom it out, you'll see bigger orders to the downside. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen now. Yeah, Big Lou, I did trade one time with Carlos here. Or was it with you, Peter? I don't
Which
remember.
I think I don't remember. I know that you have.
I don't remember.
It was probably with
Yeah,
me.
I remember I traded one time, yeah, at the
Yeah.
open, but I don't remember. Oh no, actually two times. There was one time I traded with you, one time with Carlos. Yeah, now I
Okay, there
remember
you
that.
go.
So it's dumping too much. I might end up cutting this trade, the rest around the break-even area. We're sitting at the previous resistance right now, which is 305. It either holds it and bounces for a continuation, in which case I will be adding to my winning position. Either it goes to break even and I'm out with this trade, and then we can look for something else.
Interesting. Tesla, for is almost doing it's putting in this big move. I mean, look at it on the 5 minute. You've got this giant pullback candle, and it's
Mm-hmm.
that's like you said, it's got to bounce here, or
Or it just dumps and I'm out, yeah.
yeah.
You don't wanna just hold and pray when you're trading. I mean, I do that every time I hold and pray, but I have stop loss because there is nothing else that you could do. You pull the trigger, you follow your plan, and you pray for an extra conviction.
Take a look at your trade here since you're active in there. Hopefully, you get the bounce at VWAP.
If it gives the bounce and goes past 305.50ish, I will add. If it goes below 303.50ish, I'm out, and then we can look for another trade. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to get out of it, and it is going to wick me out to the penny, and it is going to squeeze after that. I just have that feeling. So my hand is literally on the trigger to sell, but I don't want to have a hard stop. You know, the thing about hard stops, sometimes it literally grabs your stop loss by a penny without. Okay, that looks okay for now. See, I was literally about to hit the sell button, and I had that feeling. If I sell right now, it's going to bounce to the
Mm.
penny and run.
Wait, what?
I want to look for another trade, but when the price hovers around your average, it's difficult to switch to different stocks.
Yeah, yeah, because you want to keep an eye on that, right?
Yeah. I honestly
Yeah.
expected more from it. Doesn't feel so good, especially with the daily chart that it had. And the average true range, Tesla runs around 18 to $20 a day. And it literally just made $6 move. It's nothing. I mean,
Mhm.
if we go from the previous day close, it's $10 move, but even that is nothing. It still can run a lot. And if it doesn't make it to the long side, it's going to make it to the short side. So I'm still holding on to it. It's hovering around my stop loss. What's happening in the broader market? Is it choppy?
Yeah, the broader market
Is
is
it the same?
bouncing back up right now. So the SPY but it is fairly choppy.
Okay, this thing is now going to dump. If it
Yeah,
makes it past 3 and 350, it's
sort of
going
hope
to dump.
so,
It needs to
because
hold above this area.
I hate to tell you, because I'm trading against you on it. So.
Oh, Peter, you have a bigger account than mine. That's not fair. It's like a 100 kg guy against 60 kg guy. It's not a fair fight.
but it's holding this VWAP here like surprisingly well. I don't love that. So it's
Well, it's literally around the previous retest area, so we're sitting around in a indecisive moment. It either goes down and dumps, either it holds and squeezes. This is a tricky place for it.
yeah. Well, hopefully it can go higher for you. I'm gonna get out of the trade and I'm gonna get back in if it goes lower, below the VWAP. So I'm out. So you're free to.
You see how Peter just got out? I told you guys he had a big account. The moment he got out, this thing just moved 40 cents up.
There you go.
He just
I
gave me
don't
the boost I needed.
I don't think that's what did it. So here's you can see sort of my trade here. Here's I got in, I added, I took a partial when it went below the VWAP just to mitigate my risk a little bit, and then I got out when I saw it starting to move against me. I mean, I'm just playing momentum here more than anything, right? Unlike Eamon, who's
Mhm.
got a more structured, approach that he's playing on it. So we can
So
both have profitable trades, opposite directions on the same stock.
that's true. Well, I
Mhm.
added to my position around here,
Okay.
around 305.50-ish. If it goes below 304, I'll probably be just cutting it out. I'm not going to be holding it to the original 303.30-ish.
Mm.
We went above this tiny consolidation, and like Peter said, we expect some momentum. When price breaks key levels or has some continuation, it needs to. And we're at a time of the market where the momentum needs to follow through. It either breaks and runs, or it struggles. And if it struggles for so long at the open, 15, 20 minutes without running, then it is a short day.
And the market's pushing higher right now, so that's good for your
Mhm.
trade. AMD is at high of day. Anybody that's
Well, I have some bad news. I'm having small connection issues.
uh-oh.
I don't know where Tesla is. Okay, there it is. There it is.
Was it your platform? Because I just saw the same thing on my
Yeah.
platform. I don't think it's
Oh,
you.
same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it's internet connection. That was scary, to be fair.
Yeah.
That was a bit scary.
I got it for just 1 second and then it's back. So yeah, the
Yeah.
market's pushing higher. AMD I see is pushing higher. The SPY and the Qs are also moving right now. So I think you've got a potential good trade here, Eamon. Let's keep an eye on what you're doing. Let's see if you can get back up
Yeah.
to the high.
I wanted to go. Yeah, I'll just look in a small position around here because if I lose my internet connection around here with this
Mm.
share size after that, it will be painful.
Full Moon and
And
Tommy are saying the same thing. So I think everybody it was a platform wide blip. So hopefully we're back and
yeah, so I had to lock in. And remember, worst thing is to lose money because of platform issues. This triggered me more than getting stopped out because the trade didn't work out.
right. Yeah.
So I'm just offloading something just in case. Better play it safe than sorry.
Yeah. Are you putting in some stop losses, I hope?
No stop losses. I don't
No?
love stop losses at the open because the price action is so jumpy and sometimes it just wicks me out to the penny. For example, here, my stop loss was at 303.60-ish, 65-ish, but I usually see how the price behaves around my stop loss. And if I see that it's pushing towards it, I usually get out manually. If it's
Mm.
just hovering around it, I'm holding a little bit because I,
You might
yeah,
you might
I'm sick of
still want
getting
to
wicked out to the penny.
You still might want to put an emergency stop loss if you're worried about platform issues. You put one like well below,
That's
like
true.
put it down at 300 or something.
Well,
So
that's
at
actually
least
a smart thing.
so it's out of the way. And if you never need it, you don't need it. But imagine if the platform like stops and you don't want to get stuck in something or you just can't.
I agree with that actually.
Yeah,
So let's do that. Let's do that.
that's just my approach. But,
I agree with you.
okay.
You never gave me any bad tips.
That's good to hear. Look at this, and look, I've got AMD, which is moving higher. We've got the where's my cursor? The market overall that is pushing higher on the Qs. It's pushing higher in the SPY, and yet what is Apple doing? Apple, it's going down. Like Apple is. Why is Apple always going the opposite direction of the overall market? It's crazy.
And AMD is actually doing good. I mean, I would not have traded it for sure. Like looking at this hourly chart, it just straight going to the upside. But I don't know. Sometimes stocks that run are the ones that are the most unexpected.
Mm. Intel is, yeah, I see you guys calling out Intel. It's heading towards 90. It's not there yet, but it is heading in that direction. And Qualcomm, what is QCOM doing? Not a lot. QCOM is just at VWAP here, sort of moving sideways. Apple did have a clear rejection of VWAP. I agree with that statement, and I wish I had been watching it a little closer because it came up, it sort of tested, and then dropped. That would have been a good short off the VWAP. Instead, I was beating my head against the wall on Tesla. Oh,
I'll probably be getting out of Tesla any second now. So I canceled all my orders just to get a manual exit on it.
Intel through 90. So it did manage
Nice
to get up through that level. Take a look at Amon's trade. They're still.
I thought I'm going to
here.
get subbed out. I literally just canceled all the orders to get out to 304.50-ish. But it's kind of holding. It's playing with my nerves. This is interesting. Sometimes stocks are flirting with me. I wouldn't complain. But take it, guys. If stocks take so long, around 25 minutes at the open without running, and they hold above consolidating in a range, usually they end up having a huge sell-off. So it either makes the run within the next 5 minutes, or we're going to see it breaking the low of the day.
There you go. Now I can put your screen on there. So I can flip between your screen and my screen. Make it a little easier.
I put my limit orders. Now just, like I was saying, sitting and praying. Nothing else we can do. Except maybe you doing that nice aura that you did a few minutes ago, where it spiked up. What about your magic 8-ball? It used to give some good signs. Where is it? What happened to it? Did you break it?
No, the magic 8-ball is here. What do you think? Whoops, I got a blank screen. It's yeah, it's just hanging out. Where is it? Here it is. Right here. Do you want to ask it a question? Magic 8-ball is
Look
always
at
ready
it. You
for questions.
literally, you see, you touched it. It hit my target. I told you this is a magic ball, guys. He just touched it, and my order got instantly filled. Okay, let's ask it. Is it headed to 308.50-ish?
In what time frame? You got to be specific with the magic
Within the
8-ball.
next 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Is Magic 8 Ball, is Tesla going to hit Eamon's target at 308.58? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
308.58 in the next 5 minutes. The answer is
Let's see
Outlook.
that, guys.
It says Outlook not so good.
Oh, disappointing. Okay, 10 minutes probably. We're not gonna ask it that
That
question, but I'll complete it. It says Outlook is not so good in the next 5 minutes, but
that's
it
true.
could be good in the next 10 minutes.
It could be, indeed.
We'll, we'll leave something to mystery. Well, Amazon is interesting. Amazon is going up. Apple is playing around.
There we go. Now we got you. Okay.
Nate saying the 8 ball has spoken. Amen. Just sell it. Well,
No, remember, the 8 Ball is very specific on these things. We did ask in the next 5 minutes because you got to give a time frame. Because if you just say, will it go to this price? It could say yes, but that might be 2 years from now, right? Like, you
see?
got to be careful with oracles. They're tricky that way. Haven't you read any of the, like books? You always got to be careful. They don't always tell you what you think they're telling you.
You have to ask the right questions. Exactly. It's like AI. You have to put the right prompt, otherwise it's going to mess you up.
I should paper trade the Magic 8 Ball. Yeah. John does do that simulated trade where he gets everybody to vote and then he takes a trade based on the vote. I should do that. Magic 8 Ball. Should we take this trade long? See what it says. Problem is, I'd have to keep asking it because it could only really do yes or no questions. It's a little trickier to. I'd have to keep asking it. Should I trade this? Should I trade this? Until it finally says yes to something.
Well, let's see, few more minutes. And I told you guys, if this thing doesn't make it within the next 5 minutes max, we're going to see Tesla dumping. This is the tricky thing about the market open. I mean, where are you from? I'm half an Arab and half Russian. So you name it, both works. I consider myself more an Arab than Russian. I am praying, but I'm praying inside.
Okay.
I don't want to distract you guys.
And in the chat room, we've got Andrew who's trading AMD. Here he goes. You can see what's going on here in the chat room. So that's and I should make the cameras. I got like Brian's camera like all giant, and Andrew's camera all small.
Well, Andrew got that AMD.
He did.
Andrew picks the best stock with the best Atlas science, and he's traded. Like, he's not only trading stock because it has big orders to the upside or to the downside.
Yeah.
He knows which one is going to follow what Atlas says. He has his own magic 8 ball that we don't see.
He must.
Did you see his Buddha, the one that he bought, his Lucky Charm Buddha?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably that's the secret.
You think that's the one that's giving him all the luck? Oh, maybe.
And that's it. Yeah, I don't know where it's
Maybe.
sitting, probably in front of his desk, and he never shows it to us.
He's just rubbing
Mo
the belly.
Hussein, I live in Russia.
All right. So we'll keep tracking Eamon's trade here. What he can do with it.
Yeah, we'll see what we're gonna do. But the Magic 8 Ball was right about it. He didn't do it within the next 5 minutes.
Well, see?
Even though it had all the possibility.
It was
950-ish, it just needed 70 cents more. So.
I know. It was pushing higher. It looked like it was going to go. And I'm telling you, the Magic 8 Ball, he knows what it's about. I gotta make sure I record that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and it's been 5 minutes. So there you go. So thank you, Magic 8 Ball. I mean, it didn't cause you to take any action, but at least you knew what to expect.
At least it helped me stay patient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate just reversed his decision because of the 8 ball.
I should. I'm hungry. I need to go get some food at some point. I haven't eaten since lunch yesterday.
Since lunch yesterday?
Yeah.
What are you in some kind of rough punishing diet?
No, I was I had lunch and then I drove. I had like a 7 hour drive, and this when I got back, I did a
Hmm.
webinar last night. So and then I was tired and went to bed and played tennis this morning, and then had to do the show. So I've just been busy. I just haven't had a chance to get any food, which is rare for me. I normally always find a chance to get food. I love to eat, but just haven't had that chance.
Well, that's interesting. Have you ever heard about water fasting?
No, but I mean that's. I mean, I assume like when you're going for a medical procedure and you can only drink clear
Eh,
liquids.
no, one of my friends, he did it. He just literally drinking water for 5 days only without food. I didn't
That's
know that was a thing.
yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of these fads and these trends. That feels like that would be rough on your system. Like I don't think you really want to do that. The human
Well,
body is designed to have a regular consumption of calories. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
sure
I
you.
would never do it, to be honest. Knowing myself, I'm not gonna do it. But the interesting thing he said is that for the first 48 hours, he said you feel so hungry,
Hmm.
but then you just forget about hunger and water just does all the job.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I've done that. I have done the fasting, and yes, you're right. The first 24 to 48 hours is really rough because you're hungry all the time, and then you're just not hungry anymore. And it is weird, but I figure that's a survival mechanism. That's not necessarily a place you want to purposely push your body to. So,
True.
in my opinion,
Yeah,
but
guys are asking about the chat room. There is an issue with a BBT website, but if you type chat, like Peter said, on the search bar, open the link with the Pro trading room. And if you did not clear your cache, you might still be able to log in. Your login data should be saved. And since you mentioned it, celebrate life today. Uh, yeah, guys, if you did not read my book yet, Complete Guide to Multiple Time Frame Analysis and Trading Price Action, give it a go. I'm
mhm.
sure you are going to learn something. It tells you a lot about my trading style. And thank you for everyone who put the reviews. We hit the 80 today. I thought I'm going to mention it in. Someone put me a 1 star. All right, thank you guys. If it's worth it, it's worth it. Anyway, thank you for everyone who put a review. Probably that was the 80th review, 1 star. But
You
okay,
know,
thank you guys.
so,
I'm not gonna judge. If you thought it's worth 1 star, then it's worth 1 star. If you didn't put a review yet and you like the book, I would appreciate 5 star as well.
sometimes sometimes people just get grumpy, Eamon. But but yeah, well, all you want is an honest review.
Exactly. Even if it's 1 star, but I don't know, like one, is it really one? How bad should it have been to get a one?
Here it is. Now I wanna. Now I'm curious.
Well, thank you all patrons. And it's so uncomfortable because my second monitor is above the first one. Because I'm not in my usual trading station, but I'll be back there tomorrow. It even feels a bit more awkward to trade this way
Mm.
because
Yeah, it's
I don't
always
see the
tough.
candlestick the way. Mhm.
It's always tough when you're not on your usual device. One that you're.
Yeah, candlesticks look totally different, right? I mean, they look different, and sometimes they just get used to trading based on how the candlestick looks like. All right, so let's see if this thing makes it finally to the 308.50-ish. Do you like anything else, Peter?
Not at the moment. No. Huh. I don't
I'm
know
just going
what.
through Mhm.
I was trying to call up your reviews here. It doesn't seem there is no. It says there's no 1-star
Yeah,
review.
there is a 1-star rating. They just put a 1-star without a
Oh,
review, but
without
it's
a
okay.
review.
At least I don't get to read some negative thoughts.
Right. Okay. I see. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Market's pushing higher here this morning. Again, we got most things looks like are going higher, except for, of course, Tesla. That Heyman wants to go higher.
Y- y-
And
Yeah,
and
I'm not gonna complain. It was a good trade, but it's everything is running up except for Tesla. And Tesla needs to go at least somehow to the upside. Like it sold off 20%. If we go for a straight move without any pullbacks, it's around, I don't know, 30% without any pullbacks, and it can't make $10 to the upside. Sometimes you watch the stock that just does nothing.
mm,
I'm happy with it. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, because I followed all my rules. I planned it during the pre-market. I have been watching it since yesterday. I even called it yesterday in the chat room. We did say that the hourly chart made multiple hourly candlesticks to the upside. So before we played it, we needed to see a new hourly low. We waited for the new hourly low. So I followed the rules to the T on this thing, and the rest is out of our hands.
and Andrew's still sticking in here with AMD, taking partials at key levels, but hanging in on his long trade. Again, we can show you what's happening in the chat room. Here's Andrew's screen, and you can see he's pointing out. Go here. You can see Andrew's pointing out this level, this Atlas level at 490 that he's saying that the stock seems to be moving towards. So there you go. All right. Tesla's looking a little bit. I don't know. It's just moving.
Choppy, right?
Yeah, it's
I
very
don't like
choppy.
I don't love that it breaks the high of the day
Mm,
like it did at 9:58 and then it dumps. Then it breaks the high of the day one more time at 9:59 and it drops. And it broke the high of the day one more time at 10:02 and it dropped. This is not a good sign. That's why I'm not having my order sitting at 309 or going for 310. I'm just putting it close to the break of the high of the day,
mm.
just in case because it could be the last break of the high of the day before it ends up selling off. Let's see if this is the final break of the high of the day that I'm looking for. You see, one more time, it's breaking the high of the day and it is struggling.
One more time.
Andrew looks like he's so chilling. Just sitting there, riding that AMD trade. What happened to, oh, DFNS? It's at $60. Look at that, Peter. This thing
Yeah.
just went from $100 during the pre-market to $60 after the market open. That's 40% drop, guys.
Oh my goodness. And
And imagine, Mhm.
keep in mind that drop is more than like 3 times the value of the company only 3 days ago. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's
Oh, look
crazy.
at this. I got lucky with that fill to the penny.
Mm,
All right, guys, now I'm happy with my day. I am all out on Tesla.
wow.
It finally
Okay.
did it.
There you go. Nice.
Yep. I told you, like when it breaks the high of the day and goes down, breaks the high of the day and goes down, sometimes it just struggles and sometimes you just look for that one final push before it drops. I'm not gonna say that's going to drop. Probably now that I'm out, it's going to burst to 315, but I don't care about that. I made my goal, I stick to the plan, and yeah, it literally kissed it exactly big low.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, Peter, if you don't mind, I'll take a small break because I'll
Of
have to
course,
be
yeah,
back
yeah,
at 11, and then there is
absolutely.
12, and then there is one at PCT, so it'll be a really long day.
Yeah. Look, you've
It's
been
play
putting in a lot of time here, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
well, it's a pleasure trading with you.
Yeah, you made it work. Certainly, got a lot better trades than me. I was trying to take Tesla against you, and there you go. Good
And
lesson.
then you give
Don't fight against Damon.
not exactly, you gave me the push that I needed. You pumped it up for me, so thank you.
Okay. All
Trade
right.
smart,
There you
guys,
go.
and
All
I'll
right.
talk to you at 11. See ya.
Later. Okay, guys. We'll continue on here. Soldier on, looking for other trade opportunities. Looks like the market is look at the SPY overall here, which is just sort of moving sideways here in the last couple of minutes. Look at all this uncertainty. It's just like tired, just sticking around with the cues. A little more directional in terms of hitting the top and moving down, but yeah, it's pretty choppy. And Tesla, Eamon had said he got that Tesla fill. Where's Tesla? Right here, and just right to the top. You can see over here how I was trying to trade it short, and obviously it was just not going to go down. So got out of that. Watching some of these semis as they are hitting their tops here. It's I was watching Micron. I was like, I should take some Micron short, and it's like now down $10 for. I was looking at 835. The spread was like 70-80 cents. I find it hard to trade a stock with that high of a spread. I said it's down $10 now, but the spread was just so high that very hard to take, I find. Okay. What about you guys? Any trades that you're active in? Andy's got a short scalp on NVDA. What's NVIDIA doing? Is this off the top? Did you take a short? Maybe. Taking a quick scalp. Joshua, is it still worth trading AMD? That's a tough question. I mean, I don't know. It's I mean, if you're asking for a short, you're chasing it. So just know that you got to risk this thing could move back to high of day and retest, or it could just keep it going lower. But at this point, you don't have sort of a premium entry, so you got to either set a bigger boundary or keep it very, very, very tight, and then risk getting in a couple of times. I usually go the very tight when I know I'm chasing things. So. You're looking at Google. That's one we haven't looked at all morning. What's Google up to? Not much. Pushed up through VWAP. It's given a little bit of a pullback right now. Yeah, the semis generally were good trades long off. Well, not exactly off the open. You had to give it a little bit of time. And it's funny how they all sort of moved at a different cadence. Generally, all went higher, but moved differently. Like if NVIDIA had seemed to take one of the longest. It was like looked like it was going to be weak, and then it moved higher. AMD, went sideways but moved higher faster. and Micron just started right out of the gate, pretty much, right, and moved higher. So they all ended up moving higher, but not exactly at the same time. Again, big earnings tonight are Apple and Amazon. They're the two that have earnings, and the big earnings last night were Microsoft and Meta. So, in fact, I've been keeping an eye on Microsoft here. Here's Microsoft, and it sort of made a move off the open, moving sideways. Not a lot of surprise. What I haven't looked at is Meta. What the heck is Meta doing? Yeah, nothing. It's moving sideways. This is pretty choppy sideways price action. So be careful there. And AMD, look, as per the warning I just gave you, right? Chance that it could go back and retest the high. This is sort of setting up. If only it had a volume spike when it when it hit the high of day, then this might be a mountain pass type trade where it goes back and retest. But it didn't get the volume. I would be looking for volume around here, 10:04, 10:03, 4, right? That would have been the time where I'd want to see the volume. And then this retest would be a good signal for a short. Being that we didn't have that volume, then I don't want to um, I wouldn't want to sort of risk the short against it because we might move to a new high. So, all right, let me refresh the YouTube and see where we're at. 152 likes. Okay. What's my preferred strategy for shorting? I mean, like it depends on the time of day, right? Right at the open, if I've got a structured setup, I use what I call a rising devil. That would be a trade that has negative news. It's trending downward. It's going to move up to the VWAP, get tested at VWAP, and drop lower. I mean, by pattern, that's sort of what Apple did, but it didn't have negative news, did it? Apple had good news and is actually gapping higher. So that's what I would actually call a lead balloon. But anyways, I've got the fancy names on things, but it's the same pattern, but it's on positive news on a stock that's moving lower. Um, but later in the day, the mountain pass is the strategy that I use, which is a high of day retest and failure strategy. It also actually works inverse, where you can take it long, but I mostly trade it short. I'm literally looking for something that has moved to a high of day, shows volume at the high of day, pulls back from that, retests on lower volume, and then goes lower fairly aggressively. So, as I said, AMD, sort of looks like the pattern, right? You got a strong move up to the high of day, a pullback and a retest that's happening right now. If it fails, it can move all the way down through the 50 moving average and through to the VWAP. And I'm just realizing now, if I'm looking at my charts are also simple. I don't have a lot of my indicators on it. I'm going to have to update my platform here. In any event, but I said it didn't get volume at the high of day, so that sort of negates the structured setup here. Let's add some moving averages here. I need to add, at the very least, the simple 50. That's good. There we go. Get that on my chart. There's the 50 moving average. All right. And I have to go find these hmm. I don't remember what these studies are called. All right, so I'm just take one of my charts. Price marker. That's what it's called. All right, we'll get this in here. Set up. All right. I want yesterday's close. I want yesterday's high. And yesterday's low. Then where's the yesterday's? Where's the? There it is. 2 days ago high. And 2 days ago. There we go. Oh, I gotta make sure on all of these. Always the key thing. You do not want to include in scale or it screws up your charts. All right, we're getting there. Okay, there we go. Now I got some proper levels in here. SPX. What? Or sorry, SpaceX. What's happening with SpaceX? SpaceX is what's happening with SpaceX? You found the plot? I don't see much going on there. Look, sure enough, AMD has gone higher. Okay, AMD, as I mentioned, yeah, moving a little higher here. So, like I said, so my Mountain Pass, right? I don't want to take it because it didn't show volume at the high of day, which shows me that it's maybe not done the move higher. And sure enough, it's moving a little bit higher. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what it's doing with all of the semis. The market overall, yeah, moving sideways. Let's take a look. Eamon really got lucky on that spike, didn't it? It gave him the opportunity to get out of his trade at his profit target, and it pulled right back off of that. So he literally got to the high end. Well, I can claim success for the Magic 8 Ball because it said that it was not going to hit his target in the 5 minutes, but it did hit the target. It just wasn't in the 5 minute span. So there you go. Well done, Magic 8 Ball. Helped him stay patient, like he said. So, what else we got going on? How's your trading going on out there? Intel, you said you didn't focus on Intel. Yeah, I mean, I said a lot of the semis have just pushed higher today. So it looks like we're happy with semis today. Chip manufacturers are in again. For the morning, anyways. Good for them. You're long NVDA. Well, we'll see if it how high it goes here. Getting a lot of things just sort of easing off, taking their foot off the pedal now as we start to just move sideways a little bit. Let's see what happening in the chat room. Andrew's still hanging in there with AMD. He's still riding it higher. So let's show you there's what's happening in the chat room. Oh, look at Eamon's frozen face. I love that. See, Eamon's learned the trick that I had to learn too. When you leave, it freezes you or whatever the last camera is. So you gotta look good because sometimes you'll freeze and you'll have like some really ugly frozen picture. You don't want that. So, all right. Just looking at the chat room here, seeing what people are doing. Okay, once again, Andrew worked his magic, pushing AMD to the high. He got in and was able to ride this thing all the way up. Still taking advantage of that. He's a magical trader. Take the damn trade. Actually, I don't regret that. Look, whenever I'm managing the show, it's tougher to trade. I said I did try out of the gate to trade Tesla, and then I found I wasn't managing the screens. I wasn't doing things well, so it's tough. I got to give Carlos credit. It's tough to trade when you're also managing the show, and he manages to figure it out. So I actually I was trying to take Tesla short, trading against Damon, probably not a smart move. So I'm at like a third of an R red right now. So not a really big deal. And I'm happy with that, right? Manage the trades tightly. It's just a tiny little red day so far. But did I miss this move up? Yeah, but I also wasn't really sort of staring at Apple is probably the one regret I have from the open that I wasn't. I was busy looking at Tesla, like I was just talking about. But this was a clear rejection. This off the open right in here. I think that was a missed opportunity to take a short. It would have been a massive trade, right? Because it didn't really go all that far. But still, you could have got a decent risk to reward on that. So there's a missed opportunity. So I can journal about that. But it wasn't for lack of failing to take it. It was I didn't see it, and that's just the reality. Sometimes you just don't see them. Microsoft, you're asking about back to the hive day. I don't know. It's looking just pretty choppy here. It's in a range, so it's possible. What does the Atlas tell us? Let's see here. What does the Atlas level 2 give us? Bring it over here for you guys. Atlas level 2 on Microsoft. Yeah, it does show orders at 350. Let me put that on the screen for you. You can see we've got these green orders that are coming up here up to 450 and 452, and I don't see a lot Like the order book is pretty empty, so it looks like there's a good chance of it potentially going up to that 450 level. Microsoft's a tricky one though. It doesn't always go get those orders. 452, would that be? Yeah, that would give it the high of day, right? If it got, yeah, because the high of day right now is 451.73. So we'll see first if it can get through these orders at 450, and then when it does, if it looks like it's got a good chance of doing that. But that's we got a Microsoft. Let's do it for Sir Megamind. I love the name, by the way. Sir Megamind. You assume that you're in Microsoft long, but we'll see if it goes for you. It's not. There's not a huge amount of momentum pushing it. I mean, it looks like now it's gonna get. Let's see if it goes and takes those orders at 450. Let's see if I can. Here, we'll put it over here so you can just see. There's the 450 orders. If you see that red bar disappear, that'll be when these orders get taken. So that's what we're looking for. Let's, overlay these two. We'll zoom in here a little bit. Ooh, I can move this too. There you go. All right. Keep an eye on Microsoft here. Let's see. Let's give it a minute. See what it's going to do. We can go take out those 450 orders. You can see the dots here as it's filling. Oh, yeah, it just got a drop. Yikes. It's interesting how you can see the Atlas here tool paralleling what's happening on the stock, right? You got the spike down. You see these orders getting filled, right? And you can see the number of contracts traded and what it looks like. The bigger the dot, the more the larger the order size. Is AMD, if AMD clears 500, do I have to take a drink? I used to like, because I was watching it as I went through all the like the $100 and then 200 and 300. I used to take a drink every time, a nice drink of scotch. Being that I haven't eaten since lunch yesterday, it's probably inadvisable to start drinking on that empty of a stomach. But it does look like it is moving quite nicely towards that $500 level. I'm still watching Microsoft here. Notice it did go through. See how those orders got taken out while I was distracted? So it took out the orders at 450. And now we're looking at maybe 451, but it didn't do that with a lot of enthusiasm. So I don't feel that 451, 452. Let's zoom out here. Remember, they still had the bigger orders up at 452. Yeah, I think it's going to take a while if it gets there at all. So I'll just move that out. We stop distracting everybody with it. Let's take a look at AMD here. As it's also moving higher. Oops, I clicked on Micron by accident. AMD, look at that. It does look like it's moving its way quite aggressively towards the 500. And also, using Market Atlas. Let's do a full screen here, Market Atlas. You can see how it's got a whole bunch of orders at 500. Not a lot in between, so it's a long way to go, though. That's still $5 away. That's a long journey, but it could very well do it. It's gone up. How much has it gone up this morning? $30. So, it's made a $30 move. Why not another 5? Wow, some of the semis, Intel, Micron, AMD, all having good mornings here, moving up fairly aggressively. The longer they go, the more I get just a little bit of FOMO missing out here on these moves. But you got to accept, sometimes that you just don't catch the moves. Tomorrow is always another day. This afternoon, there could be more trade opportunities. There's always another trade opportunity. You just have to be patient and wait for it. Don't start like revenge trading. Don't start doing crazy stuff. It's taken me a long time to get that sort of stoic about it, where I could just say, just wait for another move. It can happen. Yeah, and I agree. AMD's move today is crazy. Um, they AMD is up $67, 15.7% so far in the day. That's a big move from yesterday's close. I mean, if we look at a 60-minute chart, just look at all these green candles. Just it did this about face late yesterday evening, and it's making a very aggressive move. So maybe it is going to get to 500. Why not? It's gone this far. $67 worth. What's another 3? Make it 70. Make it an even 70. I guess technically it would have to be $70.44 to get there, but IREN. Okay, let's take a look at IREN. If that's setting up, I like things that might be setting up for Mountain Pass. It's about that time of day when they could work. Now, I see what you're seeing. Yes and no. The rough pattern is a Mountain Pass. On a 1-minute chart, it's definitely not, because there's too long between the high and the retest. But if we zoom out to a different time frame, on a 5-minute chart, so if you wanted to play it on a 5-minute, which means you're taking a longer trade pattern, then it is a potential. Now, I don't like the fact that it didn't really get any volume the first time it hit the high of day, right? No appreciable volume increase. You can see it here. I mean, it sort of had steady volume at the high of day, but it didn't get like a big spike. So I'm not sure how to read that, because I'm not as familiar with IREN, but on a 5-minute chart, it actually looks pretty good. You could take a stop at high, just above high of day with a push lower, but know that this is going to be a longer trade setup. But I would not take it on a 1-minute time frame, just because it's too wide of a pattern. So 2-minute, is okay, but not great. Again, right? There's no appreciable volume at the high of day, and that makes me nervous for the ability of this thing to continue and make a very, very strong move that you'd want to the downside. SpaceX orders. SpaceX is looking long. But anyways, I want to look at IREN. What is the Atlas telling us on IREN? It's pretty balanced on the Atlas on IREN. Let's bring it up for you here. Slightly more orders to the top side than the down. So that would make me a little nervous. If I zoom out, it's very balanced. So bottom line, it's not giving a lot of help. It's not really giving me a clear indication as to what it's going to do. So, Atlas doesn't lie, but it's not always clear. And this is an example where it's not giving a clear indication of what's going to be happening. So we don't get any clues out of that. I would say, follow your gut on this. If your trade strategy says to take it, then go for it. For me, it's not strong enough of a signal for me to take it, so I would not. So that's what I'm looking at or not looking at. Okay. All right. Hopefully you guys can't hear the garbage trucks out there. I'm hearing them, even through my noise canceling headphones. They're being very loud. Actually, it's funny. These actually aren't noise canceling headphones. They're just gaming headphones. But they're very good at cutting out ambient noise. I don't. I don't consider ATR. I know a lot of people like to use the ATR numbers. I can see the value at times, but I don't. I don't really pay attention to ATR. I'll admit. Your ride pat is a garbage truck. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a good garbage. Do we have a garbage truck here? I don't have the garbage truck. I'm gonna have to figure out to add that. Let's see if anywhere in these screens Carlos has got a garbage truck. Carlos has got things in here that, like, we don't have a garbage truck, but he's got Beavis and Butthead. All right, that's important. See if I could find a garbage truck. Funny, in managing the show, you guys, of course, don't get to see the background. There are 196 different screens that I have to manage. It's a lot going on here, but none of them are a garbage truck. You're asking about what happened to Carlos? He's just off for the day. He'll be back tomorrow. Don't you worry. Did I hear somebody was saying reversal on Intel? I thought I saw, but that comment seems to be gone. Oh, here, reversal on Apple. Let's see, is Apple about to put in a reversal? Yeah, it hasn't moved very aggressively today, so it's tough to call it a reversal when it's just sort of bouncing. Yes. What are you talking about? Shouldn't be. Hopefully, you guys let me know if you're still seeing the live stream. It should be. Should be still going. I haven't hit any buttons. Mm. Okay. What's going on? What happened? Okay. I don't even have a pause button. It's back. I don't know what happened there. I didn't hit anything. Maybe it's because I flashed that Beavis and Butthead thing. Maybe it's copyrighted clip and they censored me. I don't know. All right. Like you said, we're back. I am watching Tesla here just to see what it's going to do. Tesla. What else we got? You guys were watching Apple. Let's see what Apple's doing. Yeah, Apple's sort of down at the low here. I did jump into this Tesla short just because it looked like it was about to drop, so I just took it sort of as a momentum drop. I'll have to it pulls back here. I don't want to take too much risk on it. Because again, if the momentum doesn't continue, you don't want to get stuck. Too much of a reversal. I'll give it a little bit of room, but not a lot. Oh, there's garbage trucks are loud out there. All right. All right. We're down to 307. Seeing some support here. All right, I'm going to take a partial right there as we push through 307 in case we get a bounce. See if we can get down to VWAP. That would be my targeted move here on Tesla. This is again, I'm just taking Tesla on the weakness here as it was moving lower. Take another partial here just because it's hanging out for a while. It might bounce. Now I'm going to hold for break even. In fact, I just realized I don't have my script here in here for a break even. That's no good. I'll have to take care of that. So short on Tesla, just took these two partials as you can see. This is just a momentum trade, so I'm not expecting a big move. Took it fairly aggressively, wasn't giving it a lot of slippage. If it come out basically above the candle that I'd entered in, I would have just jumped out, right? So my risk on Tesla as I got into it was only about 40 cents. So that's why I'm able to take these partials quickly, because I'm already getting multiples of my risk. And if we get to VWAP, then I'm going to take another partial, which is 305.96. We'll say if it hits 306, anything 306 or lower, I'll just take a partial right away. We're getting close. Yeah, the semis are rounding the top here. AMD, Micron, Intel, NVIDIA, they all look similar as they're rounding the top. NVIDIA, which was like the last to move, was almost the first to start to drop. So maybe not a surprise in that. But yeah, they're all looking very similar. It's definitely, the semis are not moving independently. They're moving as a block or as a group right now. So in fact, I'm going to, let's do this over here. Open in a stop trade. Oh, where's my dialog box? Oh no. Oh, darn it. I actually accidentally got all out. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Trying to put in a stop order, and I got out of the trade. You get for using an unfamiliar platform here. Tazzy, that's a good question. Where are we at on our likes? Can I give something away? Have we hit a level? We hit a level. 281. Doesn't look like at this point I can give something away. No. Right back in. Big size. Yeah, I don't want to. I'll just take the money. It's chopping sideways, so I'm not gonna force this trade. Again, clearly, I'm not fully on my game here today. Just back from my travels last night, managing the show. It's tougher to trade. So yeah, give me a whole bunch of likes, and I'll give something away. I gotta find that the tool Carlos uses, but you would. Sick visuals. I do seem to make a lot of errors. You know why? Because I make so many errors when I'm trading live. I don't understand why I'm so like incompetent when I trade live in front of you guys. Seems like I think I'm actually nervous. I don't know. Oh, see, look, now it's going, and it's going down to the VWAP. See if it goes and hits it. Hits it. CRWV. Let's take a look at that. CRWV as Tesla moves without me. Did it make a mountain pass? No, because it didn't. It hit a high of day back at just after 10. It moved to a new high of day. I see how it sort of hung out there for a while, but no, I don't see any mountain pass on that. There's no like noticeable high of day with volume pull back and retest. That's not this whole pattern is just sort of a stable high of day. So you care about us too much? I do. I care about you too much. I don't think, it's like you don't think you're nervous, but I do seem to be making a lot of errors. I don't think it's nervousness. I think it's more distraction, right? Like I said, managing the show, I've got to manage that software platform. But even so, even when Carlos is managing the show, I find that I just, I'm not trading very effectively. So that's all right. It happens. Hey, look, it's better to make a trade when you're in make an error when you're in a positive trade and it gets you out at profit rather than make an error that costs you money, right? This only costs me opportunity. So, and I'm not fishing for positive comments. So, but I appreciate it. Thanks all the support, everybody. London, Canada. Yeah. When I said I came back from London, yeah, London, Canada, London, Ontario, which is about a 7-hour drive, 6-hour drive. The way I drive, it was yeah. It was I took Highway 7 too, which if you don't know, anyways, Highway 7 is it's like a 2-lane highway. So it's as opposed to taking the interstate equivalent we have here in Canada, which would be our interprovincial highways. So anyways, I'm back looking at Tesla, and hey, look, I haven't missed a lot. I did get all out by accident, but I said it hasn't even gone down to touch that VWAP yet. It's threatening. It may do it, but yeah. Oh man, I missed out on a chance for lunch and dinner. That would have been a little more expensive trip and a longer trip. But no, I just drove down to London, Ontario yesterday. Well, I drove down Tuesday. I drove back yesterday. So all right. So Tesla is still just churning around here, doing its thing. Let's go back and see CoreWeave. What's CoreWeave doing? Yeah, just sort of moving sideways. And then all these semis that I'm looking at now, they're getting a little bit of pullback. AMD, you can see it has sort of slowly hit the top, and it's slowly pulling back. Couldn't quite get to 500. We got close. What is the high of day? 498.20. So it got pretty close. What an amazing, and so it's still on a $60 move right now. It hit a high of about $68 from yesterday's close. That's amazing. Almost $69. So Big move today on AMD compared to yesterday's close. Micron up $108. Same, it's big move here. Pulling back now, but and Intel, it's probably the same percentage. Yeah, 13% for Intel right now versus 15 roughly for AMD and Micron. So and it's amazing to me how NVIDIA is the laggard every day. It used to be the leader. Now it's only up 2.8%. All of its friends, all of its peers are up, double digits. Poor NVIDIA. Can't move more than a single digit percentages. Don't feel too bad for it. You're long Apple, so you're making a bet that Apple's going to be hitting this the VWAP and moving higher. I don't know. Like it's not very enthusiastic here at this VWAP, so careful on that long. And look at, I don't like the way it's tested that several times today. The last two times it actually got to the VWAP, it broke back down. So be tight on that Apple. Yeah, Gary 77M, you're on Dash Trader Pro, so you're using the same platform as me. Your VWAP level on Tesla 1 minute chart is very different. All right, so let's go take a look. Let's see what they relatively are. So here's the VWAP that I've got, which shows it at 305.98. Oh man, and it did get through that, by the way. Oh, 305.98 is what I show. The VWAP on the as stated on the level 1 is 305.89. And you say yours is different? Let's see. Let me exclude pre and post market data. Oh. The heck? The action will retrieve about, oh, it's too much data for a single retrieve. Maybe the range is too, oh, I see. What the heck? Huh. It won't let me exclude pre and post market data. That's weird. All right, so when I exclude pre and post market data, it looks like it goes to 306.25. Is that what you're seeing? Let me add it back in here. 305.97, yeah. Pretty consistent here on my, I wonder why it's different. No way. I don't know why it's different for you. Should be the same if you're looking at the same data. See if I bring in more data. Will it change the number? 305.97. No, not moving. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Now it's making the move. Oh, and I stopped out. Well, you were right. I should have got back in. You told me to, and I didn't do it. See, why didn't I just listen to you guys? You guys know what you're talking about. You could have helped me make more money on this. Cost myself a couple of dollars here. Oh well. Que sera. Sometimes we make the wrong decisions and we just have to live with it. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I know why. Sorry, guys. I just realized my meeting ended. Hey, here's something we can do. Let's do this. Let me do. Hold on a second here. We got some trades coming from the chat room, as John likes to share with us. So let me just see if I can't. I don't want to do that. I somehow have turned them upside down. Okay. Let's get Eamon's smiley face back here. Oh, there we go. Eamon's smiley face is gone. All right, so let's take a look at some trades out of the chat room. We got a moderator trade. Oh, this looks definitely looks like a John high of day trade. Let's see if he's got yeah, there you go. See? I knew it. I knew it was John's trade. He looks like he tried SanDisk twice. He got in and out, and then he got in and then an all out when it hit his target. So nice trade there. Next trade is from Kyle. Kyle, wow, look, Kyle got in a couple times on SMCI. He likes SMCI. He trades that quite a bit. Looks like he got a good trade on that as he got in and took a whole lot of partials. Wow, and this is like, he's taking it like a 30 cent range. That's it? Trading this for 30 cents. Interesting. All right. Sammer got in at VWAP on Tesla. Oh, look at that. He was sort of following Eamon and then got out of his trade when it hit his target over 306.50. Looks like he had a similar target to what Eamon was looking at for his first area of partial. And this was early on in the day. So nice trade there. Harvey was also trading SanDisk, got in and a whole lot of partials. Partial. So making 6R on the trade. So there you go. Nice trade for Harvey. And Dreep. I assume this is all one trade. Enter, add. And then partialing all the way up on Micron. I wonder what the size would have been on that. It's hard to get in and then add on this when it's, look at the difference between his first entry and his add would be like $8. That's you got to give this thing so much room. Anyways, another Micron series of trades. It looks like an in and an out, an in again, and in an add. Unless this, yeah, I have to assume that was an all out. And in, add to it, partial. So Salim, nice trade there. And Paul, let's see, what is Paul trading? He's got two trades here. A loss, it looks like, on, what is this, on the SPY? Oh, some futures. It looks like. Got in again. Was able to partial on the way up. Andrew K. Entry, ads, all out. On, oh, AMD. Traded AMD. Okay. Wow. Interesting. If you look at this, AMD could have held for a lot longer, Andrew. I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight, of course, but there you have it. And I got to get my people in here, guys. I know you're out there. I know you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I had a failure on YouTube, so I'll come to you in a second. Anyway, oh, that's it. All right, so there you go. So I got all my trades. Now I can get the boys back in here. I see Eamon's here. Let me just I just have to get Kyle in here. There we go. Now we
Hey,
got
Peter.
them.
Peter, you're
time.
doing an amazing job.
So let's just nobody. I'm not sure if they can hear you yet. So let's get you guys in here. I've got Eamon in. Let me just replace myself with Kyle. But I'm just disappointed that I stopped out on that Tesla short because it was going so well, and then I hit the wrong button. So somebody said in YouTube a little while ago, if they had a buck for every time I made a mistake, they'd be rich. They'd be right.
We gotta start giving away these bucks.
They'd only have about $10.
Yeah.
I mean, still counts. But to be
Peter,
fair,
you're doing a
it's
great job.
okay.
Thanks, I
Can't
appreciate
get it
that.
green every day, right? I mean, you can't be green every day.
Oh,
2 days
actually,
ago,
that
well,
the trade put me green, so that's the upside. The downside is
well,
that I left a lot on the table because when I meant to just put in I was just going to put in a stop limit order. Instead, I accidentally got it out. That was $3 ago, so I could have had $3 more on this trade, which would
oh,
have been great.
okay, that's disappointing. Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
disappointing. I agree.
so that's
That's the
okay.
way it goes
That's what happened here.
sometimes.
You can see
Yeah.
the trade. Here's the trade right here. You can see I got in on the way down here. Right, took some quick partials. Was waiting for the
Oh, there
VWAP.
it is. That was a perfect entry.
Right, and I said, this is the bigger move that I missed out on. This was meant to just be a stop limit order. Instead, I got out. But again, hey, that happens. I'm not too.
Oh,
I'm
you
not too
hit the
worried about
stop
it.
market order. You hit the market order instead of.
Exactly. Actually, it was a
Okay.
limit order. I thought I was putting a
Yeah.
stop limit order, and I just put a limit order in, and then it filled the limit order right
Okay,
away.
yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. So in
Recent
any
action,
event,
but it's okay. I mean, you nailed it. I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna hand it
interesting.
to you
It's exactly what we
guys.
talked about.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a good day, Peter.
And
Thank
you
you,
guys,
Peter.
yeah, no, keep going. Obviously, I'll be here. If you need anything changed technically on the show, you let me know. I see green, by the way, Kyle. So that's a good sign. I
Oh,
like to see
you
that.
betcha.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't my cleanest trade, but it worked out. Thank you, Peter. You're the
Awesome.
best.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Peter. And yeah, guys, you see, this is what we were talking about Tesla at the open when we were trading it live. I told you, when you see something like this, breaking
my
the high of the day for the first time, but barely. And after that, it ends up dropping down. Let me just get my Epic Pen for a second. Come on, Epic Pen.
Epic Pen
Mhm.
always lags on me. I can't
It
get it to
happens.
work properly. So how do you do
Yeah,
it?
it
Like, do you
happens.
shut it down, like restart your computer? That's the only way it works for me.
No, I don't know.
Yes.
It doesn't like that much for me.
Epic
Oh,
Pen
I'm
is
pretty
very temperamental. I love it when it works, but when it doesn't, yeah.
I'll tell you what happens sometimes. Sometimes you want to draw on the chart, but it doesn't seem to show you the pen to draw. So all you have to do is just show the desktop, draw a line from the desktop to the chart, get it back, and it works again. That's the only bug that I usually have. I try to draw, but it doesn't. It just selects the chart, it shows the mouse. And what you need to do is just need to start it from the bottom.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we're idiots. Okay, thank you.
No, you didn't say that. Come on.
Now,
Okay, so
Kyle,
yeah.
Kyle, I want to while the Epic Pen he's working out. I did want to ask about this SMCI trade that we have here. So
Mhm.
let me, because this was interesting to me that you were like, this whole trade was like within a 30, maybe 40 cent range. Like you were pretty aggressive on this one.
Yeah, I got some slippage on it. I don't know what exactly happened. Honestly, like I went for a 5 minute opening range. Like the pre-market high was the candle around 925. So I really wanted to get in there. And then I had my stop loss. Yeah, it was about 30 cents, but I partialed all the way up to about 27.90. So I risked about 15 cents on it. So I waited for that to coverage there. But it just happened so quick. Like if you see the volume spike up there, like it's like around 9:45, it shot up so fast. So I got a bunch of slippage there, and I mean it wasn't the cleanest. So I think I actually hit my hotkey. I only wanted to go in twice, so I hit it 3 times. So my shares were really, I don't know, it kind of scared me. So that's why I partialed so much, so aggressively. And even on that wick at 9:45, there was so much volume there. I don't know what happened, but. Yeah, I was hitting my 10% partial faster than I could even imagine. So maybe I need a one-on-one with Peter.
Well, yeah, I'm not the only one that makes mistakes. Then that's good to know. So,
No,
all
it
right.
was yeah, it wasn't my cleanest trade, but I mean it worked out. But yeah,
Green is green, baby.
Green is green, my friend. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you back.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Peter.
All right. Well then, Kyle, not a bad trade. I actually like it. But yeah, I mean, different trading styles. Can't blame the scalping, right? Can't blame
Yeah.
scalper for being a scalper.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like I did get some slippage because I did have
Mhm.
like I wanted to get on to, like the 5 minute, the opening range actually really
Mhm.
coincided with the pre-market high. So like my first entry, I probably missed it by about 5 or 7 cents. But yeah, then I tried to hit it again, and I think because I have control too. That's my long hotkey. So I think I just hammered it like too many times to get in on it, and then that volume spike at
You
9:45,
just
like it
needed that
was
50K.
exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I mean, one time, nope, not enough. Two times, it's still close to 50K. Three times, yes, that's exactly it. That's the three times.
Yeah. So I mean, it worked out, but I mean, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the prettiest. But like, and that's the thing, right? Being such a having
Mm-hmm.
this scalper's mindset, like what I was happy with is at least I covered my risk. Like I waited for that first candle, so I got about
Mm-hmm.
20 cents, and then I started to partial out there because I looked down and I had a boatload of shares on it, and it did make me a little
Mm-hmm.
bit nervous. So I shared my trade with you as well. You can see it later, but
Yeah.
anyways, I was happy with it.
Mm,
What did you trade today?
yeah, I took Tesla here with Peter. Honestly, it's amazing today. I love trading with Peter and Carlos. Just gives me this confidence boost. So we took Tesla to the long side, and this is the thing that I did not like about Tesla. Every time it breaks, and first it happened around here where we broke the pre-market high, it instantly made a big pullback. I did not trigger my stop loss, added, partial, broke the high of the day by a little bit, and dropped. And then here it broke the high of the day and it rejected. And here it broke the high of the day and rejected. And I did mention it here that if you see something like this, where it keeps breaking the high of the day within 10-15 minute period just by a few pennies and it dumps down, that's weak stock. That's not strong stock. This is why I pulled down my target from 309 all the way down to 308. 45 or 46, and it literally touched my final target before dropping down. And look what happens around here later, guys. One more time, breaks the high of the day, and it rejects. And this is where Peter actually played it to the short side. Looks like small mountain pass on the 1 minute chart. Peter's classic setup, money printer. And it ended up giving the biggest move. I mean, I know that this was almost the same move that it got, but look at the difference. Around here, it made that move with a lot of struggle. And here it made the move in one single run, literally stress-free. So that was beautiful, yeah.
The patience Peter has is God, it's so nice. Like how he just waits for that thing every single day.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
So we
That's the
have
way to do it.
Apple's earnings today, and we have Amazon earnings today. So that would be another exciting day. Uh, Microsoft's earnings happened yesterday. Happy about it, obviously. I'm already up around 13-14% on it. But Meta
Nice.
is kind of struggling. I'm down 5% on Meta, but I'll take it. Okay, 5% down on Meta, 15 up on Microsoft. That's good. And I'm down 10% on Netflix. So sitting around break even on my longer term positions. But IBM is going good. I'm up on this thing somewhere around 7%. So all in all, 7% in the swing trade. But I will exit once we see the 40 or 30% on all of these positions. Opinions on Apple. Yeah, Apple actually doesn't look bad. The thing about Apple, they're so behind the AI race, but I'm not really sure how much are they putting money into the AI. Anybody did that research?
Let's find out.
It feels like it's taking its time because everything is struggling. A lot of chip companies are struggling, but Apple is doing well. It's back to the top company, surpassing NVDA right now. All right, Apple does not disclose a separate AI spending number. But what I could find is that the capital spending has been only around 12 to 13 billion dollar a year.
Wow.
That's not much, to be honest.
Not
Considering
for
that
them, right?
Microsoft, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, considering that Microsoft is putting around 200 billion dollar in one single year, and you have Apple spending 12 to 13 billion dollar a year, well, that explains why they're behind in the AI race. But it's doing their stocks a good job.
But they keep releasing those wonderful iPhones, don't they? Apple iPhones. Do you have an iPhone or no, you're an Android guy, aren't you?
No, I actually have an iPhone.
Do you? Okay. Sorry. I don't
Yeah.
mean to put you in a box.
No, and to be honest, it's literally like a box in here because Apple banned a lot of things here in
Did they
Russia.
really? Why?
Yeah, so you cannot use the Apple Pay, you cannot watch the Apple TV. I mean, it's a brick. I literally bought a brick. So switching to Android soon.
Are you? Okay, there you go.
Hmm.
SMC. Oh, Qs are rolling over again. What a rally though this morning. Hey, it took a minute though, and that's kind of what happened. Like even Brian was talking about that inside in the BBT chat room today. Like the first 15 minutes was, I say it now,
Hmm.
but like it was really choppy, and then that's what kind of happened on SMCI. I'm always honestly like SMCI is just one of my favorite tickers now. It just sits on the left side, and all of a sudden around like 9:44, the volume jumped like 75,000 shares in like it must have been like 45 seconds to about 2 minutes. And that's
Hmm.
like I anticipated that movement. And then that volume, the volume spike at 9:45 went to, I think, 400,000 shares from 200. And that's when I got in. So I got in like with the good momentum of the Qs too. But the Qs were just so choppy at the beginning. So
Hmm.
uh, yeah. Do you think it's because of the earnings or what? Or just because of how yesterday was?
Well, I think today the market is just having a full recovery because we had a big drop yesterday. Usually,
Yeah.
this is a classic pattern. When you have a day where where you have big sell-off, next day you have at least some part of recovery. This is why I usually avoid playing after long bar candlesticks. If you have a long bar candlestick in one single day, the likelihood of having a continuation the second day is really low. Usually get recoveries after these type of days. Now, it doesn't mean that today is going to be a bullish day. It could still close the red, but it's going to close an inside bar. And Peter talked about it today during the pre-market show. So we had this big drop on the daily chart. Now we had a decent pullback, and it looks like it's trying to continue going lower, but it's not necessarily going to make new lows.
Pat, I did not get a scooter for him, but I'll send Eamon what I bought him on the weekend. No scooter yet. We're still kind of looking at one, to be honest.
Show me
Um,
what you got him.
I bought him. It took me forever. I actually got my neighbor to help me do it. Where's Mr. Eamon here? Mhm. Are you in anything right now, Eamon? Trading?
No, no,
No,
but
you're
we
done.
can take a trade. We can take a trade if we find something exciting, because why not?
Because why not? Where is it?
If we find something A plus, why not? Do you think MD and cheap comp will continue to move up tomorrow, or will it lose today's gains? I think it's going to continue going higher tomorrow, but it's just an opinion, not based on anything.
Oh, well, you can show both those pictures. I just sent you two.
Oh my god, it's so not comfortable looking at the screen on top. All right, let's see what you got him. All right, is this the right picture?
Let's see. What do you got here? Oh, no, the one after that. That's okay. Well, that was actually a birthday gift, just like a little booster seat. It goes on front of my bike. So you,
Mm-hmm.
you go for a ride with him. So he sits in front of me. So we went for a bike ride yesterday, but it's the one
Mm-hmm.
after that.
All right, let's take a look at the next one.
There it is. Little swing set with a slide. There you go. So we got that, and I'm still gonna. I'll get him a bike, but one of our friends actually has a one of those Striders. So we're gonna wait to see if they're gonna give us that, and if not, but he loves this. He loves the swing set. So, and you guys heard in the chat room today, Andrew is a dad. Andrew had a kid yesterday, and he announced it
Yeah,
today. So congratulations to him. He is a dad.
well, Andrew's finally dead. That's
Everyone's a dad.
interesting.
Yeah. Hey, you had a kid. Andrew had a. Well, I mean, we don't
Not
have the
everyone,
kids. Yeah.
not everyone. Paris doesn't have
Paris.
kids.
Okay.
Yep. I
That's
think
60.
Lenny doesn't. Not sure about Jared.
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure if Jared does either. SpaceX. What price we might see after SpaceX earnings
That's what I'm
call?
waiting for because
We're waiting.
if
We
we're,
want that 100. I'll buy it. That'll be my
yeah.
first swing trade ever. If it goes down, I'll do it.
When did
Um,
Andrew become? He became a dad yesterday with his ex-wife. Now, not with his ex-wife.
Honestly, I asked him the same thing. I'm like, that wasn't with your ex. We had a call last Thursday, and I was like, is it with your ex-wife? And he's like, no, no, it's with my new girlfriend. I said, okay, good. Yeah, it's his first official. I mean, he announced it today, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind that we said something on here today. But yes, so let's get some likes for Andrew. Let's get 500 likes and let's get a giveaway going. SMCI
SMC.
looks weak. Yeah.
It's an inside bar as well, so it's tricky. I wouldn't say it's weak. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't say it's weak, but it definitely needs a pullback or a drop.
All the semis move. I mean, everything moved with the market obviously today, but I was also watching IONQ. That's been one of my go-tos as well. And I was watching RGTI, but the volume just wasn't there as much. But again, a really nice clean 5 minute opening range breakup on RGTI. All the semis and quantums moved really nice today. It was a really nice trading day.
That's true.
What did you see on Tesla?
Tesla, I
Oh,
actually talked about it yesterday, and I did talk about it during the pre-market. What I liked about it is this drop, and I was watching it yesterday for a long, remember?
mm-hmm.
And it was the exact same thing. We had a gap down, a big sell of day, then we're having a smaller sell of day with some sort of buying pressure week. Then an even smaller red day with buying pressure week and some strength. On this day, it was somehow in the green. And then an even better candlestick with bigger buying pressure and finally green and a wick on top. So you could see how this thing every time it's struggling to sell off more and more and more. And I wanted to play it yesterday to the long side, anticipating this around here. But yesterday it did that final push. Sometimes stocks give you this stopping move where everybody believes that, okay, that's it, it's done, it's going to reverse, but it gives that final push. So the bulls forget about the reverse. Like, no, that's not exactly it. Bears regain control, and then the actual move happens. And I've noticed this a lot with reversals, especially when you play them on the 5 minute chart and on the 1 minute chart. This is why I was not so aggressive yesterday when I was watching Tesla for a long. I saw it just breaking to the upside and instantly dumping. And I realized that there is some sort of trap happening, so I decided not to play it, and I was lucky with that. And today we're gapping up, so you see that it had a red candlestick, and normally if this is really weak and it is really bearish, today should have opened at least somewhere around the previous day close and continued the sell-off. But instead, this thing is gapping inside this range and inside almost this range around here, which tells us that today is the pullback day. What I did not like about Tesla is this run around here. You can see that since yesterday, and I mentioned this on YouTube also during the pre-market show with Peter, it did a big move without any single pullback. So if you wanted to play to the long side, you want to wait for a reset before the continuation. And that reset happened here. It gave us the reset before the continuation. I played it long, added to my position, and when I added to my position, I moved my stop loss around previous entry. So this one was full loss because the stop loss was really tight. I usually go for that stop losses with momentum sometimes. So I had to re-enter once I saw that the idea is still playing out, added to my position, moved my stop loss to the low of the previous candlestick, and that was it. I mean, just pullback day on the daily chart, ABCD pattern on the 60-minute chart, and an open range breakout in smaller time frames.
On the 1 minute chart, do you find like when the wicks on Tesla specifically, when the wicks are that long, like do you see those sometimes as obviously they're a little bit of fake breakdowns, but like liquidity grabs too? Like because all the wicks all the way up until like it was all holding the 50 moving average and the bottom wick seemed to be really long, right? And then is that just grabbing a lot of liquidity underneath and then getting ready to launch higher?
Could be. A liquidity grab usually happens when you have some sort of a consolidation and a bigger liquidity down here. So it tweaks, grabs the liquidity and runs. And usually that happens in one single move. And sometimes it's just sitting way further and the price just goes all the way towards that liquidity before it actually makes the reversal. But here there was no clear pattern or anything. It was just making higher highs and higher lows. then it dropped to the downside and continued. And I didn't see any big orders around here for it to grab. Normally, if it's a liquidity grab, you'll see the liquidity and you'll see it trying to grab that liquidity. The other thing is the volume. It also doesn't look like a liquidity grab. Normally the very first minute candlestick is having the highest volume for the day. You could see that on Apple around here, probably on NVDA. It's the opening volume. Normally the opening volume is the dominant volume. Maybe we'll see that also in SMCI. I don't know if it could be, yeah, that it is here on SMCI. So normally the very first candlestick has the largest volume, but on Tesla, it was average. So it doesn't look exactly like a liquidity grab. In fact, we had a bigger volume candlestick here at, I don't know what it was, 937 maybe.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
then, so on that same candle that you just mentioned, that big red one there, when it like free falls that much underneath the previous wick, that's considered a fair value gap, right? So if you pull that all the way to the right, is that right?
good. So basically a fair value gap is a step that's consisting of 3 candlesticks. And you pick the distance in between the third and the high of the first and the low of the third. This is basically the fair value gap around here. If you want to
Right.
go in a different way, I don't see a fair value gap around here. You see one big drop, you see the next candlestick, and the next one is just single. So there is not much of fair value gap within these candlesticks around here. The fair value gap is here. That's the fair value gap. And you can tell that, okay, it's filling that fair value gap. And how do people play fair value gaps? They buy it inside the fair value gap and they put a stop loss at the low of the candlestick, either here, depending on the risk to reward ratio. But I did not treat this as a fair value gap play. I just went for range, breakout, retest before the trend.
Love it.
But it was literally just a few pennies away from my stop loss. I got lucky on this one. I mean, is your way of trading similar to ICT? No, it's not. ICT have wider stop losses, way wider stop losses, and they are doing a lot of anticipation moves. I don't do anticipation moves. I might do an anticipation move in the hourly or maybe on the daily, but I still look for confirmations on the 5 and the 1. So I know that ICT is doing multiple time frame analysis in their own way, but there is a lot of anticipation in that trading style and the low risk to reward ratio. That's what I don't like about it.
What are you guys doing here? I got my first real 6 string. Oh, he's a Canadian. It was the summer of '69. Great song. Okay, so just last question with that fair value gap. So you could pull that all the way across, right? And then people play that around like 10-15, right? To go to the upside. Could they use that liquidity as it kind of comes back around VWAP and then goes back for a break of high of the day? Or not so much?
Not exactly. I think it's the fair value gap that formed around here was already done around here. You look for other fair value gaps later.
Oh, okay. So it usually is within that's consolidation where you play those fair value gaps.
It could happen later if it did not fill it here.
Right.
It's like
Okay.
playing a gap fill strategy. You see a stock that gap. It's different, but I mean, just trying to give you some sort of an example. If you see a stock, for example, gapping up, and then it's filling this gap, and then it's running, and then it's dropping around here, you're not going to be playing a gap fill strategy from here to here when the gap fill already happened here, right?
Got it. Thank you.
You're
I learned
welcome.
so much. I love these sessions. They actually make me a really good trader, honestly.
You're
Not just
already a
like
good trader
I am a good trader, yeah, but like it just opens my eyes
and
more
so humble.
to Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm a good trader.
Yeah. Well, I know that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's the fact. I know that already.
What are you asking, Tezo? How do you guys look so young? I don't know. I just good
Uh,
genes, I guess. I have
just
a pretty stress-free life, honestly. Up until
uh,
lately, like trading's aged me in the last probably year and a half quite a bit, but I have a pretty stress-free life. I have a really good partner, and my life's pretty good overall.
I sleep inside the fridge.
It's funny. Um, I said Jesus juice. Well, I mean, rest in peace to Michael Jackson. I mean, that's a whole thing. Watch the Michael Jackson documentary, and you'll know what Jesus juice is. I do use a lot of lotion on my face, to be honest.
You
Keeps you
know,
young.
probably tend to use it for me too. Guys, when you hear that, it means that we're about to start a lotion business.
Yeah, stand by for a discount code. Yeah,
Exactly. Stay young forever. Let's call
yeah.
that business Stay Young. Actually looks like a good name for the company. Is there company that's called Stay Young?
Let's find out. Stocks look dead now.
We need wait,
Go
we
ahead.
need to secure that name.
Come on, Q's, lose VWAP. I have a
Oh
little
man, we're so
position.
late to this.
No, I have a
Of course
position on
Korea took
on
this.
Q's.
All
Who
right.
did? Korea? Go ahead. Baby
Yeah,
lotion.
South Korea took this name. We're late.
Yeah, lose VWAP. And then I'm gonna do it for me. Close under this candle. What a rally. Honestly, what a great day. I feel so good today. I'm on a 9-day win streak. And I know people don't like hearing that, but I'm doing this $50,000 challenge on my Instagram. I get way more views when I lose than when I win. Like, what is that all about? Like, people just want to see you lose instead. Like, obviously I have some good supporters, but people like seeing me lose more than winning. It's just like how disrespectful and rude is that? Like, come on.
It's not. People love the transparency. A lot of traders out there they just post their winners, and that's the biggest downside.
Yeah.
When people see the traders showing losers, that gets more engagement.
Yeah. It's not
That's
all
one of the
butterflies
reasons
and
I try to
rainbows.
lose once a week or twice a week.
Yeah. Keep people happy. Oh shit, I lost today. Damn. Oh, lose VWAP. Close underneath. 3, 2, 1. Nope. Damn you. Keeps holding VWAP.
Misery lacks company. I like that.
Ah, you bastard.
So why, guys, what do we have? What are we going to trade? I haven't taken an afternoon trade for a long time now. It's not that I don't want you, but there were literally no good opportunities midday for me.
What do you think of the cues right now? In your eyes,
Well, I think they are
Hi.
going to pull back, but I don't see a good risk to reward on this thing. Probably is going to hit the 676 or maybe 674, but it
Come.
already made a big move. So risk to reward wise, it's just not worth it. Might need to have a wider stop loss for a smaller move.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Come on. No, it just won't close underneath it. I have one order sitting at 678.10. Oh, there it is. Got it.
Pat says I'm in 0 DT spy puts. No, thank you. Pass.
Respectfully, no, thank you. Yeah,
I appreciate your suggestion.
it's a dangerous game.
I highly respect it, but I pass.
Eamon, can you have a look at gold? I've
Hmm.
never traded gold ever. I've never touched it.
It's tough to trade, but I
Gold
like
or
the weekly
oil?
chart on it. Look at
Sorry.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are sitting around a yearly or an annual level. It's well respected. The daily chart is stuck in a range, so probably do not want to trade it around here. When we're sitting in the middle, the results are so random. You want to play it closer to the lows or closer to the highs. Intraday, I have no clue where this thing is headed. Because if you take a look at the average size of the daily candlestick, we are already sitting at that average size, right? I mean, this is the average true range. I'm just trying to mark it out for you guys. So this is how the average true range on these stocks look like. And there it was like this, there it was like this, there it was like this. So you see, this is the average size. And you can see that today we're already hitting the average size candlestick, maybe even more than it. So that's not a good long anymore, and it's not a good short either. If we take a look at the 5-minute chart and we zoom it out all the way to yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a really good run to the upside. And then we formed a nice range inside it. And we're sitting also in the middle of the range of the 5-minute chart, which is not tradable. That was not a bad idea. But if you are to trade it, you probably want to see it somewhere down here or somewhere up here.
$23 is 900. Yazzie trades. Do you trade gold often?
You probably want to do that on futures.
Mm. Where's Carlos today? I didn't even hear. I missed some of the pre-market show today, so I'm a bit
Oh, no, he
behind.
wasn't here. He wasn't here today. Today it was me and Peter.
Yeah, I saw that. It was just like family stuff. That Carlos, that guy just never misses a day. Hey, he's always here. That guy's such a hard worker. He's amazing. He does so much for BBT. Have you met him in person?
Oh, yeah, we met in Thailand. It was actually, he's an amazing guy. He has the
Yeah.
exact same personality as has, yeah,
Does he?
on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so easy to talk to.
Great beard too.
Great beer too. I still want to meet Peter in person. So sad
Yeah.
that we've been here for 10 years and I met him 0 times.
Well, I mean, yeah, you haven't met him in person, but you guys have a really good relationship on here too, right? He helped you with your getting your degree and everything, right?
Yeah.
Well, he pushed you. I
Was it-
can't say he helped you. I'm sure he wasn't reading your books with
To be
you,
fair,
but
he wasn't even pushy. He wasn't even pushy. He just spoke his honest opinion. It made sense.
he's a wise man, that Peter. Yesterday he said something when he was traveling that he had a Honda Pilot or something. Like, could you imagine seeing Peter drive a Honda Pilot? Like, all I see him is driving his Porsche, like this nice, beautiful supercar with his beautiful Mr. Clean, shiny head, and then put him in a Honda Pilot. It's like it wouldn't
Shiny
suit him.
head. Hey, Candy, how are you doing?
New user, why is the market green today? I lost 10K on shorting. Well,
Well, sorry to hear that.
sorry, I was
You know
just
what they
typing
say?
that.
Market
Sorry to
only
hear
goes
that.
up.
That's what I just said to him. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't know. Like Eamon said yesterday, it usually bounces back off of a strong moving day. So hopefully you withstand your $10,000 loss. My biggest loss ever was, well, my real account was $3,500. My funded account, my biggest was 16,000.
Yeah, my biggest loss was 1,000 and something per
Really?
day.
Oh, oh, per day. Yeah. It's
No,
already red.
no, I'm so strict about risk management rules. I
Hmm.
will not allow myself to blow up, to hit my max loss for the day. I mean, even per trade, I'm trying not to hit it unless I plan to risk more.
Hmm.
Always
Check.
within the risk parameters that I set.
Pretty Bird
Well,
lost
Moon, yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't know, but I'm talking about day trading, by the way. My swing trading is different, I think. Swing trading is different. I have different rules for swing trading, but for day trading, I have strict risk management rules, and I'm following it stricter than I'm following a religion. That sounds bad, yeah, but
No, it's a good balance. You find a good balance.
yeah.
Let's see.
You know, guys, I talked about this before, but I'll repeat it one more time. Um, you could be an average trader with an average trading strategy, but if your risk management system is solid and you are following it, you'll still be making money day trading. No matter how good of strategy you have, no matter how good you are reading price action, with a bad risk management system, you're going to struggle. So focus the most on risk management system and adhering to your loss limits and targets, obviously.
Pat, you made 800 bucks this month and you're pumped. Good, buddy. That's amazing. And like like we talk about all the time, like just be a part-time trader. Like after we're done here, if you're done, like you don't need to trade after 12 o'clock. Like for me, it's 9:30 in the morning here, right? It's 9:37. Like after this, I'm just gonna go spend time with my family. And just that's it. If you can still go to a job after this, it depends on where you are in the world, but just be a part-time trader. Making an extra 800 bucks, boom, there's a car payment, there's some of your mortgage payment, all that stuff, right? If you don't have a huge account and you're just not yet at that point where you can cover all your bills because your account size is still growing, continue to have a side hustle, go to your other job, do something on the side, right? Build your account up to the point where you can start to cover your bills. That's the goal. That's what we all want to do and accomplish, right? So, congrats, Pat. That's amazing. Yeah, well, Chris, you're a bit of an anomaly, buddy. Yeah, from what you said yesterday, you married rich and your wife paid off your house, your car. So you don't get to talk about this one. But hey, congrats to you. That's amazing. The Q's rejected a little bit there. Came up, tested the 50 moving average. Big rejection. Let's see what happens here. I'm actually trading futures right now. I have one contract on at
Are you short on
28,107.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks solid. I approve.
Thank you. I've been in it for a while here. I'm just gonna wait. I took one off at VWAP and then I have one left. My stop loss is 28,107. Let's see what happens here. Wife paying it off is something to be proud of, fellas. Hey, honestly, the world is very different than it used to be. Like, honestly, like my wife's, well, she's not my wife yet. We're getting married in 25 days, but she makes great money. Like, she makes six figures as a teacher. So she was making more money than I was. If your wife makes more than you, congratulations. Like, you don't have, it shouldn't be an ego thing. I feel great that she makes more money. It kind of, as a guy, it's like, ugh, you think that a woman making more, it doesn't matter at all. Like, I'm just really happy for her. SPY pushing up. I got. Don't do it. Don't do it, Q's. Reject the 50. Oh, you bastard. She's making the Canadian teacher money. Yeah, she has 2 degrees and she's been teaching for 8 years. So in Canada, it depends on how long you've worked. There's a grid. So if you have 2 degrees and you work over 8 years, I think you get maxed out at I think it's 120,000 a year. But she gets summers off. But teachers actually work so much. Like the marking that they have to do, like she'll bring home like 70, 80 papers that she has to mark. So she like this year she's done at like 4 o'clock, but then she'll mark papers till 8:30. So teachers,
I mean, teachers do that here also in Russia, but they
oh,
don't get six figures. They barely get 4 figures a
really?
year for five, maybe five probably max. With
Oh,
starting with a one, obviously, not a five. Starting with a five.
El Patron, they don't what work? Oh, they work a lot. I didn't think so. Until I started dating a teacher, I always was kind of in that mindset, like, oh, they're done by 5 o'clock, and then um, they get summers off and it's such a cushy job, but like kids these days are insane. Like high school kids, like she teaches high school, they're just so, I don't know. Some parents need to be slapped in the side of the head. Just like the stories I hear from some of these kids, they're just so disrespectful. They just pull out their phones in the middle of a lecture and
I mean, it's always been like that.
right, yeah, but like there wasn't always phones. But I just feel like high school students are just they're kind of a different breed, really. But
Well, just remember our high school days.
I graduated in '04. Like I didn't have a cell phone until in grade 11. But I mean everyone's different. Every profession has its ups and downs for sure. But
Pat has a point.
what did Pat say? Where's Mr. Pat? Hey, if they're on their phone, at least they're being quiet. Yeah. My so my fiance, her name's Mary. She has like a thing at the front of her classroom. So when you walk in, you put your phone in this drop thing and there's no phones. Like she doesn't take any shit.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't say that kids have no respect. It's different. People are different. So are children because uh, I'm I see the young brothers of my wife's young brothers. They are so nice. They're into sport. They're so kind. They're helping. They're caring. So I think it's just how you're brought up in the family and your surrounding. I mean, and
Yes.
honestly, you can't always blame the parents because the parents could do the best they could, but at a certain age, uh, chill. It's more about the surroundings and your friends.
Right. They make their decisions. They yeah, if they have a shitty friend group, it's just like he's almost destined to be a little cowboy. But
You
anyways,
know, what you need to do is get your children to be busy from morning to night so that they don't have free time for anything sports, schooling, studying, some free time for themselves. And
yeah.
that's the best way to do it.
And that's why I'm so, I really want this trading lifestyle. I've just been so committed to it because I want to give my kid these opportunities. Like sports are so expensive. Like I played hockey my whole
Yeah.
life growing up. Now it's so expensive to play hockey. It's like thousands. And if he's a good hockey player, I'll say when he's a good hockey player, like to travel and all these buses and all these tournaments, it's like 20, $30,000 a year. It's fucking crazy how expensive things are. But that's why we need to have good risk management. We need to stick to our trade book and we need to make this money so we can better our
Or
lives.
save $30,000 a year until he's 18 in his retirement account instead of doing sports.
Yeah. But then he turns out to be a little shit.
Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, guys. So SPY and the Q seems like we're flagging and we're making a second leg to
Yeah.
the upside.
I'm
Still
almost
holding. I
gonna
wouldn't
go
say it's
stop
bullish, and
there.
I don't see it making a big run yet.
You see a flag on the cues? Oh yeah, I guess so, hey?
I don't see it on the hourly is not really good, but the 15 is obviously and the 30-minute chart are both obviously looking like they are about to make a second leg to the upside.
Ugh, should I get out of this? I'm up $50. Should I get out? No, I'll just let it hit my stop loss. Three. If it goes over 680.50, I'm gonna get out. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's gonna do it. On the cues on the 1 minute chart, like you just call them dojis, but what was that previous at 11:45? What is that candlestick called? Yeah, that one.
1144.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
a
is
reverse
that a
hammer.
hammer?
Yeah,
That
it's
that's
yeah,
yeah, it's
a reverse hammer, but it means nothing being inside the range. But it looks like we're clearing it out. Probably going to go past 681.50-ish.
okay.
Agnes, good time management. Proud of you for that. Agnes, you're in the current bootcamp, right? Because the name's familiar.
Oh yeah, I think she is in boot camp.
You see,
It's
sorry,
almost
but I have
over,
problem
hey?
with names. Yeah, our last session today, we'll be having it at 1 p.m. Eastern. Oh, Bootcamp 15. Yeah, I know that the name's familiar. It would have been disappointing to see that I don't remember the current Bootcamp members' names. Luckily,
Oh, there's a lot of them
that
too,
wasn't the
right?
case.
Nope. There you go. I got stopped out. Bastard. That's okay.
Yeah, it just felt like once it cleared this mini consolidation, that's going to go higher. But the only thing is that I don't see it going way higher. I don't see it uptrending. It'll start struggling soon. PLTR, I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
John Leon, Kyle T. How much would you teach your boy trading one day in terms of style? How would
Sorry.
you teach your boy day trading one day? Honestly, like I think I don't know. My mindset, like the way that I'm kind of wired is I like to scalp, but scalping's it's a double-edged sword. Like obviously Andrew's probably one of the best scalpers I've ever seen. Like just go on YouTube and like you look at some scalpers. There's a lot of really good scalpers like Cameron, whatever his name is from Warrior Trading. He's really good. But he trades on like a 1 second chart and his shares are crazy. Like he takes 15,000 shares all the time. Um but Andrew's by far one of the best traders I've ever come across. And yes, I'm biased because I've been with BBT for so long, but just even going on YouTube and just looking at other traders, like I think it's his risk management that really stands out, and just his ability to just get out. Like he doesn't use hard stops. He's just wired to get out when he's wrong, and he knows it, right? So John, I think you just have to know what kind of person you are and what kind of trading style kind of suits your personality. And then you kind of just find a strategy around that and then just back test it. I wish I did a lot more back testing when I first started to trade. There was no funded accounts around. The replay simulator on Trading Terminal wasn't a thing. So I really wasn't exposed to do any of that. I just threw all my money in live, went on to DAS, started an account, threw all my money in there, and just I had wishful thinking. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be a day trader," and I just got slapped in the side of the face. And I think that happens with a lot of people that you think that you can just jump in and start doing this and start making some money pushing buttons, and you can get lucky. There's no doubt about it. But over the long term, if you don't have a good strategy, you're gonna get crushed. So John, I would say, yeah, go into the simulator and just start.
L Patterns, the bootcamp is it's not only for beginners, it's for all for traders for all different levels. The thing is that you need to understand what the bootcamp is about. It's so many different moderators, so many different trading styles, so many different information, and it's all for you to decide which information you need, which information you don't need, and it's about you building the trade book. So in the bootcamp, the mentors do not build the trade book for you. They just share the knowledge, they guide you on what you need to have in your trade book, and you build it all. That is the bootcamp, but it's extensive and it's helpful.
Oh, good thing I got out anyways. That would have cost me a little bit.
Let's take a look at NVDA.
Oh, I never told you I passed my eval on Top Step.
Well, good job.
Yeah.
I knew you would. I
Yeah.
told you that from the first day.
Took a little long. I did blow one, to be honest. I was close, and then fuck, I just had a really shitty day. The contracts on there are just so. If you take like 5 or 6, does it work out to be 1,000? Is one mini 1,000 shares? Is that how it is?
I don't know how it works, but I know just how much it is per tick and per point.
Okay.
I don't convert it to stocks, cents, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, a lot of people are overestimating the difficulty of trading futures and prop firms, because I think I had literally no mentees who did not pass any val, at least from the first 3 attempts. It's
Wow.
not that difficult to pass it if you follow strict rules. And again, the thing about trading with real money and trading with funded accounts is that to make it long term with real money, you need to be so disciplined, you need to know what you're doing, and you need a system that's working over the long run. To make money with funded accounts, you don't need that skill. You just need to be lucky for a few days or a few weeks and disciplined with the risk management system, because your losses are so limited. Then you buy another account for just $100 or a couple $100. You could blow a few of them out, get like a couple times again, and you'll be making money. So making money in funded accounts is way easier than it is with real money.
Mm-hmm.
Because the real money, if you make 2,000 and you lose 2,000, you lose it all. But if in funded accounts, if you made 2,000 and you lost 2,000, then you just lost $50, and that's 2,000.
As he trades for the boot camp, do the participants share their work and get to be active? Oh no, yeah, you guys get put in a Discord group. You guys can share, and that's the beauty of it, right? And that's why I love
Telegram
being in a
group.
yeah, it's a Telegram group. Sorry, not Discord. And you guys just talk to each other. Like the coaches and the moderators are there to kind of guide, but you find a lot more success. Like before I became a moderator at BBT, inside the BBT chat room, I would just bug people all the time. When I saw someone put a trade in the chat room, I'd just be like, what did you do? Why did you get in there? What were your targets? What are your partials? Okay, can you share your montage with me? Can you share your hotkeys with me? Like when I first started, I was like, even ask John Hiltz. When I first started one of my first funded accounts, I bugged him so much about my equity curve. And he's like, hey, just build your own equity curve. Stop bugging me. Because I was just like, that was just my mindset. Like, I'm just going to find out all the answers. I'm just going to bug people all the time, and just ask the questions. If you don't know the answers, ask a question. Somebody here in the chat room or inside BBT knows, I would, say 95% of the questions you're going to think that you need to ask, we know the answers to. But if you just sit there on your keyboard and you're just like, oh my God, there's so much. I don't know what's going on. What's a moving average? What's this? What's a hotkey? Blah, blah, blah. Eventually, when you find all those answers out, the only thing you need to do is have good risk management. Because like Eamon said a couple days ago, like he lost for the first time in a while, but he knew that either yesterday or today he was going to have a winning day because he knows his numbers over the long term are successful. And once you become confident in knowing that and your strategy is pretty dialed in, you're going to be successful. But it takes a little bit of time. Like Aben's been trading 10 years. I've been trading 3.5 years. Like I'm now just starting to really get into a good flow. But there's still days where, I broke my rules, unfortunately. Like I really try not to, but like Monday was the first time I broke a rule in a long time, taking a trade within 5 minutes. But everyone trades differently, and that's why boot camp is so beneficial, is because you really dial in your personality and you work on your trade book. You take 100 trades, you categorize them in 3 different kind of strategies, category 1, 2, and 3, and then you just do it over and over and over again. Take screenshots, look at your homework, and just get better every day. And even if you don't go into Peak Capital Bootcamp, you can still do that. Go to tradingterminal.com, go in the replay simulator, and just go in the simulator for an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. Just put the time in, get the reps in, and you'll figure this game out. But it doesn't happen overnight. That's why everyone calls day trading gambling. Because, people that try and just get smoked in the first month or two, they're just like, no, it's gambling. Like there's no way you can become profitable in it. You can make money doing this, but it takes time and effort. And if you want to put the energy and effort into it, you'll get rewarded. But if you don't do it, you're just going to become another statistic. And then you're just going to say, it's a scam, it's gambling, right? But people make great money. They make good, you don't need to make $1 million a year. If you can make 6 figures day trading, it's great. If you can make 40, 50 grand extra on top of your job, why not? It's an extra skill. So anyways, here's a rant for you.
Yeah, someone's asking about the trading keyboard. So I don't use any specific trading keyboard. I just use a gaming keyboard, Steel Series Apex Pro. This is the one. Is the one that I'm using, and It's easy to configure hotkeys on it, even one button hotkeys. I think gaming hotkeys are gaming keyboards are better than the trading ones that you're looking for. I know some people are using Stream Deck, but I don't like Stream Deck at all. The buttons are not neat. It doesn't feel like you clicked it. Sometimes it triggers, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, you have to hit the center of it. It's not easily reactive. I love the gaming keyboard, the mechanical ones, and you can configure good hotkeys on them. Because I had the Stream Deck and I switched to Steel Series.
I have a gaming keyboard and setup too.
Yeah, it's more than enough.
Yeah.
So let's see what else we have. Still nothing. I was saying I haven't traded the afternoon for a long time now, but hasn't been much opportunities to trade, which is disappointing.
Wait, likes are we at? 335. You're a sucker for keyboards. You spent $2,000 on keyboards. What? I have one that I'll never use that I bought for $450.
Well, you know why he spent $2,000 on them?
No, his
Because he
wife
breaks
did.
them.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Just turns it upside down and smashes it. Yeah. Pat, have a good day, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. Got 2 minutes left here. If you guys have any questions about funded accounts, hotkeys, strategy, or if you just want to chat, you can email me at kyle@bearbultraders.com. Any questions? I'm happy to ask. I buy my own shit. I know you do, Chris. You don't need her money.
Just the house.
Just the house and your Jeep. Honey, can I get some new tires, please? I saw for boot camp they prefer Windows. Just wondering, is a
Yeah,
Mac
Windows
good?
is preferable. You can do it on Mac, but Windows is preferable. For Mac, especially if you're using Dash Trader, you'll need to use parallels. All right, yeah, guys, we are coming to the end of the hour. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to email me, ayman@bearbultraders.com, or email Kyle@bearbultraders.com. We're more than happy to answer any questions you have. Trade smart, take it slow, and we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. See you guys.
Bye, guys. See you, Eamon. Have a good day. Air guitar. We're early.
There it is.
There it is.